A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The Jell-O program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with It's a Whole New Thing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the age of research. So we've been doing a little research on the subject of Jell-O. Well, we found out that the best days of the week to serve Jell-O are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which is just another way of saying that Jell-O is always, anytime, and every time, a perfectly swell dessert. For Jell-O brings you that full, extra-rich flavor, a flavor as fresh and sunny as the real ripe fruit itself. And all 6 of Jell-O's famous flavors have the same rich goodness: strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime. A grand, satisfying flavor that has made Jell-O America's favorite gelatin dessert. And you like Jell-O's gay, appetizing appearance, too. Its shimmering, jewel-like colors that make it look so inviting. So enjoy some tomorrow. Just be sure to get genuine Jell-O and don't accept any substitutes. Look for those big red letters on the box. They spell Jell-O. It's a whole new thing played by Phil Harris and his orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, once again we bring you our master of ceremonies. That bubbling personality, that effervescent comedian, that fizz, Jack Benny.
Well, thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny, the carbonated kid, talking. And, Don, I like that introduction. It fits me to a T. I am bubbling and effervescent. The fizz you can have back.
Well, Jack, let me explain. When I called you a fizz, it was really a compliment. I meant you were physical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fizz for short.
I understand, Don, perfectly. In other words, if you called me a mug, you really mean I was magnificent. Is that it?
Exactly.
Well, Don, if you think I fell for that, you're a fathead, and that's short for your whole body. Anyway, Don, let's not get into a routine because I know how you appreciate a good story. And I heard a gag a few minutes ago that will positively put every one of your chins in motion. Oh, it's a honey.
It's a good one, huh?
Well, Virgil, the sound man, told it to me, and you know what a clown he is. Get this, Don. Don, I haven't even told you the story yet. What are you laughing at?
Is it the one about the nearsighted old maid that buried the midget?
No, heavens, no, Don. Heavens, not that one. This is a brand new story. Get this. There was a fellow walking down the street, and he was leading a pink alligator on a leash, when all of a sudden it started to act up and snap at him.
Uh-huh.
So the guy got annoyed, turned around to this pink alligator and said, "You better behave yourself, or I'll take a bromo seltzer, and that'll be the end of you." Isn't that terrific, Don?
Oh, it sure is. That Virgil has a great sense of humor.
Yes,
Gee, that was a funny story, Mr. Benny.
Oh, Dennis, I didn't see it. Did you like it?
Yeah. But there's one thing that puzzles me.
What?
If the man was walking down the street, where did he get the bromo seltzer?
Well, I don't know. He probably had a box of it in his pocket.
Oh. Then I guess he had a glass of water in his other pocket.
Yes, Dennis, and a banjo on his knee. Now, don't worry about it. Say, you're here kind of early tonight, Dennis. Where's your mother?
She's across the street in the bowling alley.
In the bowling alley? Well, with her legs, you better watch out. Anyway, Dennis, I'm glad you're here on time tonight. Now, try and make a habit of it.
You know, Jack, I can't get over that story you told me. It's silly, but I get a great kick out of it.
Isn't it ridiculous? Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. What's so funny?
Mary, I must tell you. Did you hear the story about the fellow that was walking down the street leading a pink alligator on a leash?
Is that the one where the man said, I'll take a bromo seltzer and that'll be the end of you?
Yes.
No, tell it to me.
Well, this guy was... Wait, you just told me the answer. I thought you said you never heard it.
Oh, stop, Jack. That's one of the oldest jokes in the world.
Mary, jokes happen to be my business. And if that was the oldest joke in the world, I'd be the first one to know it.
Should I let him have it, folks?
Never mind. Do me a favor, will you, Mary? Go out and come back in again.
Well, gee, Jack, as long as you're telling jokes, why don't you tell a good one? I heard a gag last night that was terrific.
Oh, you did, eh?
Yeah. A man walked into the house and said to his wife, it's raining cats and dogs outside.
Uh-huh.
And she said, how do you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he said,
I just stepped in a poodle. I know where you heard that, Mary, at the Wilshire Bowl. Phil Harris has been husking that for 3 years. That's his theme joke. You know, Don, Phil's idea of humor is really pitiful.
Oh, I don't know about that, Jack. I was at the bowl one night, and the people screamed at him.
Sure they scream at him. Every time he finishes a gag, he has a waiter throw a custard pie in his face. That's why.
I didn't see anybody do that.
Oh, well, you must have been their bucket of water night. That's his idea of changing material.
Well, I'll say one thing about Phil. He sure attracts the young collegiate crowd. All the college boys go there.
They have to go there, Mary. That's part of their initiation. Before they can join a fraternity, they have to either listen to Harris or sleep all night in a graveyard.
In a graveyard?
Yes, and you'll be surprised at the number of kids around here that aren't afraid of ghosts. Yes, sir.
You know, Jack, Phil sure believes in that college spirit. Look at that sign on the bass drum.
Oh, yeah. Phil Harris and his collegians. Look, he spells collegians with one L.
Well, he spelled Phil with two, so it's all even.
You know, Mary, sometimes I think that Phil...
Jiggers, here he comes now.
Don't jiggers me. Now, hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson. What's going on?
Well, to tell the truth, Phil, for the last 5 minutes, we've been talking about you.
Well, a little build-up ain't never hurt nobody.
No, Phil, and never done you no good, either. Your grammar is worse than Abe Lyman's, and he never got beyond block.
Well, who cares about grammar? I got other things to worry about.
Oh, I can imagine. Say, Phil, I noticed that new sign you got on the bass drum. What happened to that corny painting you used to have there?
Corny?
Yeah, you know, the one with the yellow moon and the green river and the purple trees. Remember that one, Mary?
Yeah, he used to call it Gypsy Doodle by Rembrandt.
That's the one. Whatever happened to that painting, Phil?
I sold it to the Metropolitan Museum in New York.
You mean the Museum of Fine Art?
I don't know what they got there, but that's the joint that bought it.
Phil, are you crazy?
Crazy nothing. Someday that picture will be hanging in Paris, right next to the Mona Lulu.
Well, I'm not going to even bother to correct that. How do you like that, Mary? The most famous painting of a woman in the world, and Phil doesn't even know her name.
If she were alive, he'd know her name and phone number.
And her address and what she's doing on Friday night. Well, I got myself on a detour for no reason at all. And besides...
Hey, Jack, why don't you tell Phil that story the soundman told you? He'll get a kick out of it.
Oh, he wouldn't even get it.
Come on, Jackson, what is it? Let's hear it.
All right, Phil. Do you know the one about the fellow who was walking down the street and his pink alligator snapped at him?
Know it. I'm the guy that drank the bromo.
There you are, fellas. He's always got a brilliant comeback, even if he has to make a bum out of himself. Oh, Dennis.
Yes, please?
How about a song before we get involved again?
Okay, Mr. Benny. I'm going to sing an old favorite by Stephen Foster called Jeannie with the Light Brown Hair.
Oh, that's swell, Dennis. I love those old songs.
Old songs, old gags. What this program needs is glands.
Mary, you just attend to your own little knitting. I'll handle the show. Sing, Dennis. The guy that drank the bromo.
I dream of Jeannie with a light brown hair, on like a vapor on the golden air. I see her tripping where the bright spring plays, happy as a daisy
along her way. Many are the while notes a merry voice would call. Many are the blithe birds that warbled them all. Oh, I dream of Jeannie with the light brown hair, floating like a vapor on the soft summer air. I long for Jeannie with a day-dawn smile, radiant with gladness, warm with winning guile. I hear her melodies attuned to love, warm as the sunlight from heaven above. Many are the fond notes a merry voice would call, echoed by the birds in the grove, o'er and o'er. I sigh for Jeannie with a light brown hair, floating like a vapor on the soft summer air. On the
Dream of Jeannie with the light brown hair, sung by Dennis Day. And Dennis, those old songs always do something to me. I love them.
Me too.
Jeannie with the light brown hair. What a grand title. You know, Dennis, I used to have light brown hair in my hair.
Why, Jack, from the pictures I've seen of you, I thought you had black hair.
No, Don, it was brown. Sort of a russet brown. You know, just like the leaves in autumn.
Well, rake 'em up and let's get on with the show.
I wish you'd stop with those interruptions. Anyway, Dennis, I noticed another thing. Your singing seems to improve every week. You're gaining poise and confidence.
Well, thanks, Mr. Benny.
Just think, this is your 7th week on my program.
7 weeks. Gee.
Yes, sir.
Am I going to get paid pretty soon?
Pretty soon, Dennis. And now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are going to...
Hey, Jackson, why don't you pay the kid?
Phil, I intend to pay him. I'm merely holding his salary until he's a little older. I'm teaching Dennis how to save money.
Well, he's learning from the top man.
Thanks, Miss Livingston. And if I were you, I wouldn't say another word unless you rube it up on the Lum and Abner program. And now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are going to...
Here you are, Dennis. Did you sing your song yet?
Yes, Mother.
Well, good evening, Mrs. Day.
Good evening.
Oh, Mother, you should have been here a few minutes ago. Mr. Benny told the funniest joke.
It was rather good. Tell it to her, Dennis.
Well, Mr. Benny was walking down the street leading a pink alligator.
Oh, Dude, eh?
Dude, it wasn't me, Mrs. Day. Dennis got the story all wrong. I never touch a drop of liquor.
Then why have you got that red nose?
Because I'm a comedian. What do you think? My tie lights up, too. This story, Mrs. Day, is about a man who takes a bromo seltzer and gets rid of a pink alligator.
What's funny about that?
Nothing. It's very sad. I'm crying like anything. Oh, what a dame.
What's that?
I said, oh, what a game. I saw UCLA play Santa Clara yesterday. It was thrilling. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you will please forgive my outburst, as I started to announce, Tonight we are going to offer an original little playlet all about Thanksgiving, written especially for the occasion by Mary Livingston. Mary, let me have it, will you?
Oh, Jack, I forgot to tell you.
What?
I changed my mind about a Thanksgiving play, and I wrote a poem instead.
A poem?
Hey, Mary, you mean to say we're not going to do a Thanksgiving play?
No.
Gee, and I was all set to be one of them pilgrims.
Oh, fine. You'd make a great pilgrim, Phil.
Well, I would. Listen, buddy, my ancestors came over on the Mayflower.
Oh, did it dock in Dixie? I thought your family always lived in Tennessee.
Not originally. You see, we migrated from Massachusetts.
Migrated? You don't by any chance mean you migrated?
All right, we moved. Forget it.
Migrated. You hear that, Mary?
Yeah, he put in an extra syllable in it.
You're not palooling.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get out of the mood, let me say a few words about Jalello.
Jalello?
It is economical, easy to make, and comes in 6 delicious flavors. So look for the big red letters on the barack.
Thanks, Don. You surveyed the day. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we have no Thanksgiving play...
Mary Livingston's going to read a Thanksgiving poem.
Oh, no, nothing doing.
Oh, gee, it's swell, Jack.
I don't care. You're not going to read it.
Jack, Benny, you let me read this poem or I won't buy my Christmas card from you this year.
All right, a lot I make on the ones you get. You don't even have your name printed on them. Now go ahead with your poem.
Okay.
What's the title of it?
The title is Thanksgiving. You're a little mixed up, aren't you, kid?
Well, that fits. Go ahead.
Oh, Thanksgiving. Oh, Thanksgiving. You are with us twice this year. With your pumpkin pie and dressing, and your turkey front and rear.
That's the part I always get.
The pilgrims planned in days of yore that you'd come once, not anymore. But now you are a double feature, and we don't know which day to greet you.
Greet her?
That's what I said, you gorgeous creature.
Now don't be funny. Go ahead with the poem.
Suppose we had 2 everything. 2 New Year's Eves to laugh and sing. 2 Christmases, 2 Labor Days, and 2 Jack Bennies with 2 toupees.
Mary, you're too pressing. Are you through?
No, but I'm coming into the stretch.
Oh.
So Thanksgiving I don't mind. If you're a week before or a week behind. What's the difference? What the heck? The turkey's the guy that gets it in the neck. The end.
Very good. Mary, that was silly, but you came through with flying colors. And now, Phil, how about a number to kind of break things up here?
Okay, Jackson, what do you want us to play? Anything special?
Well?
You name it, and we'll play it.
All right, how about that number you rehearsed all morning? You know, the only one you can possibly play.
Oh, okay. Hit it, boys.
He asked for request yet. Hold it a minute, Phil. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
Are you a little mixed up on account of the 2 Thanksgivings this year?
Yes, I am. Why?
I was in a fog when we only had one. Goodbye.
He's not kidding, folks. He's got his shoes on backwards. Play, Phil. was Cherry Berry Bean, a swing version of an old favorite played by Phil Harris and his orchestra. And now, fellas...
Hey, what's the matter? Aren't you going to complain about the number we just played?
No, Phil, I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. Didn't you, Mary?
Yeah, it was swell. Did you like it, Don?
I thought it was okay. How'd you like it, Jack?
Oh, it was great. How'd you like Phil's number, Mary?
Well, I thought it was a little loud in spots, didn't you, Don?
Yes, it seemed a little off here and there. What did you think of it, Jack?
I thought it was lousy. And now, fellas...
Hey, what is this, a rib?
Yes, Phil, we were just kidding. I thought your number sounded exceptionally good. Didn't you, Mary?
Feel me out. I'm tired.
Now, fellas, as I started to say a little while ago, and before I forget it, Thursday being Thanksgiving, I want all of you to come over to my house for a real old-fashioned turkey dinner. How about it?
Oh, that's great, Jack.
Well,
And Dennis, this invitation goes for you also.
His mother, too?
Yes, Mrs. Day, my party wouldn't be complete without you.
You don't sound very sincere about it.
Well, what do you want me to do, send you a mash note? Glad to have you. The more the merrier. Good heavens.
Say, Jack, is this party going to be like the one you gave last Thanksgiving?
What do you mean?
I mean, is the turkey going to be leg of lamb?
Don't worry about that, Mary. This is going to be a real dinner. I've got the biggest, fattest, juiciest turkey you ever saw.
Where'd you run over it?
I didn't run over it. It's a live turkey. I got it in my garage right now. It's roosting on my Maxwell.
That's all that car needs.
Now, you wait till you see that bird. I bet it weighs 65 pounds.
65 pounds? Why, Jack, you must be mistaken about that.
Oh, no, I'm not, Don. I had it on the scales. It's an enormous thing.
65 pounds? Oh, you're kidding.
I'm not kidding. Wait till next Thursday and you'll see for yourself. It's going to be a swell party.
How many people are you expecting, Jack?
Well, there'll be our gang, and then I invited Clark Gable and Carol Lombard, Bob Taylor and Barbara Stanwyck, Tyrone Power and Annabella.
Oh, Jack, you always ask them to every party you give, and they never show up.
Well,
Why don't you stop inviting them?
I can't stop now. They'll think I'm mad at them. You know how it is.
How can they be mad at you when they don't even know?
I don't even know them. Listen, Phil, I know every one of those stars personally.
Sure, Jack sells them their Christmas cards.
Mary, will you stop harping on that? The only reason you ever got cards from me is because I happen to have some left over.
Every year.
Oh, quiet. Now, don't forget, fellas, Thursday night at my house.
Oh,
yeah,
Jack,
yeah.
you know that.
Boy, we're going to have a big turkey and cranberry sauce and mashed potatoes. And, Don, guess what kind of jello we're going to have for dessert?
Strawberry?
No.
Raspberry?
No.
Cherry?
No.
Orange?
No.
Lemon?
No. Give up?
Yes.
Lie. You see, Don, you almost had it.
There's a kindergarten commercial if I ever heard one.
Never mind, that's what we're going to have. Now, look, kids, if I don't see you again before Thanksgiving, be sure and be at my house by 7 o'clock sharp. And don't eat a big lunch so you'll really enjoy the turkey. I'll take it. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny, this is Rochester.
All right, what do you want?
Well, boss, I just heard you talking about a big Thanksgiving party Thursday night. That's my night off.
I'm sorry, Rochester, but you'll have to work. You can take a day off some other time.
I can get my twin brother to take my place.
I don't want your twin brother.
Well, he looks just like me.
I don't care if he did. I want you to be at my house on Thursday night.
How about me in spirit and my brother in person?
Rochester, don't try any tricks. I can tell the difference between you and your twin brother.
That's more than the gal can.
Never mind. Now, look, Rochester, I want you to get that turkey up to 70 pounds by Thanksgiving, so go out in the garage and feed it.
I'm working on a Christmas card.
They can wait. Now, go out in the garage and feed the turkey.
Okay. Oh, say, boss, I meant to ask you something about that bird. Are you sure it's a turkey?
What do you mean, am I sure it's a turkey?
Well, I went out in the garage a few minutes ago and she laid an egg as big as a cantaloupe.
As big as a cantaloupe? What are you talking about?
Not only that, but every time I go in there, she sticks her head in a bucket of sand.
What?
Boss, you bought an ostrich.
I bought an ostrich?
That's right. She just ate the headlights off your car.
The headlights? How do you know?
She had 2 Adam's apples and they were going down fast.
It's all your fault, Rochester. You were with me when I went shopping for a turkey. Why did you let me buy an ostrich?
I told you it was a pretty big bird for the money, but you know you.
there's nothing we can do about it now. Isn't that awful? I got a polar bear in the guest room and an ostrich in the garage.
And mice in the pantry. Let's move out.
Now, don't get panicky, Rochester. I'll be home in a few minutes. Meanwhile, call up the market and order a turkey.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, say, boss.
What?
Have you changed your mind about using my twin brother Thursday night?
No, I haven't.
Well, I'll figure out something. Goodbye.
Wait a minute. Rochester! Rochester! Well, I'll be darned.
What's the matter, Jack?
Sandy, that big turkey I bought turned out to be an ostrich.
Oh, boy, you're going to be lonesome on Thanksgiving.
I am not. Now, Mary, don't worry. We're going to have a swell dinner. Play, Phil. I wonder if you can eat an ostrich. I don't know.
This year, some folks are celebrating Thanksgiving on the 23rd of the month, others on the 30th. Well, either way, I'd like to offer a suggestion in regard to your holiday menu. For dinner, of course, there'll be plum pudding or pumpkin pie, but later on in the evening, when supper time comes, bring the day's feasting to a fitting close with a truly out-of-the-ordinary dessert, a shimmering dish of golden lemon jello. Now, there's really a luscious-looking dessert, ladies and gentlemen. A grand treat full of the ripe, tingling flavor of juicy lemons fresh from the tree and glowing with the warm color of sunshine. And you can serve it in shapely molds garnished with fruit, nuts, and maraschino cherries. Or it can be sliced into dainty cubes, tumbled into parfait glasses, and topped with snowy whipped cream. Either way, it adds up to a mighty slick dessert that will catch every eye and capture every taste. And that goes for all the rest of Jell-O's 6 delicious flavors. Strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime. Jell-O, remember, is a light dessert. Just the thing to appeal after a heavy midday meal. And it's quick and easy to make and Mother will appreciate it after cooking a big Thanksgiving dinner. So order genuine Jell-O from your grocer tomorrow.
Of the 7th program in the current Jell-O series, and we will be with you again next Sunday night at the same time. Now, don't forget, Mary, next Thursday night at my house for a real Thanksgiving dinner.
Count me out, Jack.
Now, wait a minute. I'm not going to serve that ostrich. I'm going to have a turkey.
Oh, you are, eh?
Yes.
Well, if I find a headlight in the dressing, watch out.
Oh, don't worry. Good night, folks, and a happy Thanksgiving.
Here's news. Every Tuesday night, the Aldrich Family is on the air, starring Ezra Stone as Henry Aldrich, that lovable hard luck kid. Consult your local newspaper or radio guide for time and stations, and be sure to tune in on the Aldrich Family next Tuesday night.
Bluebirds in the Moonlight is from Gulliver's Travels. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. Each week at this time from Hollywood, California, Kraft presents Harold Terry as the Great Gildersleeve, written by Leonard L. Levinson. We'll hear from the Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. But first, remember the saying, an army marches on its stomach? Well, nowadays, battles are won not by armies alone, but by entire populations. For total defense, we all must have plenty of the right kind of food. That means wholesome, nourishing food. Food that produces the energy we use up in hard work and play. That's why Parquet margarine, the quality margarine made by Kraft, should be an important item on your shopping list. Because Parquet margarine is an economical source of important food elements we all need. Parquet margarine not only has delicious flavor that makes it a favorite for table use, baking, and pan frying, Parquet margarine is a highly nutritious food, one of the best energy foods you can serve. What's more, every pound of Parquet contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A. So why not give your family the benefits of this wholesome, nourishing food and start serving them Parquet margarine now? They'll like its flavor. You'll know it's good for them. So tomorrow, ask your dealer for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y. And now let's visit our friend, the Great Gildersleeve.
Well, my goodness, Bertie, the ashtrays are all empty for once. What is this, some special occasion?
For me it is, Mr. Gildersleeve. I'd like to have the evening off.
Oh, is this your night to leave early?
No, sir, but I thought I'd like to get an advance on next week's night off.
Oh, any reason why not, Marjorie?
Oh, not at all. Go ahead, Bertie.
Thanks. I wouldn't ask, only we've got spectacular things tonight down at our lodge.
Oh.
That's the mysterious and bewildering orders of the daughters of Cleopatra.
Yeah, Bertie's the head sphinx.
Not no more, Leroy. I'm now the exhausted ruler of the pyramid. I've been promoted.
Yeah, I see. Does that make you the head man?
No, sir. I'm practically a stowaway on the royal barge of the ancient Nile.
Yes.
And ahead of me comes the major domus of the outer chamber of the inner sanctum.
Yeah.
Then the chief searcher in the bulrushes for the daughters of Pharaoh.
Oh, yeah.
And above her comes the royal rejecter of delinquent daughters.
Yes. Well, isn't there a queen, Bertie?
Mr. Gildersleeve, in our organization, every gal's a queen.
Oh, my pardon.
Well, what are you holding tonight, Bertie? An initiation?
No, ma'am. It's the red, white, and blue fish fry in order of, to honor a group of our visiting soldier boys.
Oh, yeah.
The daughters of Cleopatra is all 100% Americans.
Well, that's a fine thing, Bertie, entertaining your soldier friends.
Yes, sir. We've even hired a military jitterbug band. The brown-skinned boogie-woogie bugle boys.
Well, go right ahead. And if you want to take anything from the pantry for the fish fry, help yourself, Bertie.
Yes.
You may want to broil a couple of cans of sardines.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yeah, that's all right.
Say, Unc, you know something?
Leroy, I wish you wouldn't keep using that expression. Of course I know something. But what is it?
Well, I was reading in the paper where there's going to be about 1,000 soldiers in Summerfield over Thanksgiving.
Yes?
Well, let me see. Yeah, here it is.
Well, the city will play host to 32nd Regiment Thursday. USO urges all citizens to invite Army men to dinner.
That's what I mean. Can we have a soldier for our Thanksgiving dinner, Uncle Mort?
Leroy, you sound like a cannibal.
Leroy, you mean can we invite a soldier to come to dinner?
Yes, and I think it's a splendid idea.
Oh, then we're going to have one?
Why, of course. When I think of all those boys, many of them so far away from home, it takes me back to the lonesome Thanksgiving I spent in an Army hospital back in 1918.
Gee, Unc, I never knew you were wounded.
Well, it's something I never talk about.
Well, what happened to you, Uncle Mort?
I was kicked by a mule.
Where were you kicked, Uncle?
In the customary place. That mule kicked me so high they gave me a pilot's license. I spent 3 weeks in bed, flat on my stomach. In those days, I had a flat stomach. But remember, kiddies, never mention a word of this to anybody. It's still a painful subject. Even now, I twitch when I pass a mule.
Gee, Uncle Mort, where did this happen? In France?
No, Leroy, in Missouri. I was buying mules for the Army. Sort of talent scout for jackasses. Yeah. Well, anyway, I got 9,000 of them before one of them got me.
Say, I never knew you knew anything about mules.
Oh, yes, Leroy. I had quite an asinine education. Yeah, but that was a long time ago. Let's forget it, children.
Yes. Does that paper say how we go about inviting a soldier for dinner?
Inviting? Let me see. Oh, yes, here it is. Patriotic families who wish to share their Thanksgiving dinner with members of the Army are requested to be at Bacon Square, opposite the City Hall, before noon Thursday to pick up their dinner guests. The Army men will be bivouacked at the square.
What's bivouac, Uncle?
A bivouac is a place where barking dogs are cooled off in pup tents. Yes, I got to remember that. Also that word.
Well, then it's very simple.
Huh?
Just one more for dinner first.
Yeah.
You can drive down in the morning and pick up one of the boys, Uncle.
Gee, that's going to be keen.
We better ask Bertie if it's all right with her first, though. Bertie!
Yes, it's all right with me.
That woman's wasting her time as a cook. She can get a job as an airplane detector.
Say, I have a better idea. Let's have a real celebration. We'll get a couple of extra turkeys and invite 8 or 10 boys.
8 or 10? Won't that be too much trouble, Marjorie?
Oh, no. I'll ask some of my girlfriends to come over.
Girlfriends? Oh, by all means. That'll be jolly for the soldiers, too.
Oh, gee, Unc, the whole idea sounded great till you brought in the girls. Do we have to have girls?
Why not, Leroy?
Yes, what's wrong with them?
Jeepers, don't you think those soldiers are doing enough for their country as it is without wasting their day off with a bunch of silly girls?
And in conclusion, fellow citizens of Summerfield, let me urge you once more on the eve of Thanksgiving to open your hearts and your homes tomorrow to the soldiers visiting our fair city. Yep. Quit popping your bubble gum, Leroy, especially while I'm rehearsing my radio speech.
Oh, I'm sorry, Unc. I'm doing it unconscious.
Yes, I'm sure you are. Young man, if you keep playing with your gum that way, someday you're going to have a blowout. And remember, you haven't got a spare face.
Finish your talk, please, Uncle Mose.
Well, I don't need to rehearse it anymore, Marjorie. I know that speech backwards.
You do? Let's hear it. I bet it sounds even better backwards.
Yep. Leroy, you keep that up and you're going to get some applause backwards.
You know, I think it's wonderful of you, Uncle Morse, to go on the air tonight and urge everyone to entertain the soldiers.
Well, people have always told me I should be on the radio. They say I sound just like that fellow who used to be with Fibber McGee and Molly.
Oh, that's probably some of the girls now.
Oh, wonderful.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Cute, aren't they?
Uncle Mort, I want you to meet Betty Wilkins and Mildred Sherman.
Well, what lovely friends you have, Margie. You should invite them here oftener. Much oftener.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Not at all, my dear. I've always had an eye for redheads.
But Uncle Mort, last year she was a blonde.
Yes. I see. She's got a convertible top.
Mr. Gildersleeve, all of us girls think you're simply too tremendous starting these soldier parties.
Oh, he ain't so tremendous. It's that suit he's wearing.
Well, I like him just the way he is, especially that straight military bearing.
Yeah.
After all, he was an army man, you know.
He was?
Mm-hmm.
What branch of the service were you in?
You flew, didn't you?
For a short time.
What kind of a plane did you use?
A plane? It's an old Jenny.
And you were wounded, too, weren't you?
Oh, dear. Whereabouts were you wounded, Major Gildersleeve? At the front?
No, it was in the...
Leroy.
I was just going to tell him it was in the middle of...
Leroy!
But, Unc, you told me yourself you were wounded right smack in the middle of Missouri.
Oh. Yes, that's right, in Jefferson City, Mo.
But even so, you were lucky to have recovered.
Yes. Everybody said I had a horseshoe in my hip pocket. I didn't get rid of it either till they operated.
Well, what were you doing in the Army when you weren't flying, Major?
Well, I was sort of a recruiting officer. Yes, I brought more than 9,000 recruits into the field artillery alone. I got a kick out of it, too.
I imagine that must have been a lot of fun.
Fun? Well, only at the beginning, my dear. I got awfully tired in the end.
Hey, Uncle, isn't it time for you to go to the radio station?
By George, you're right, Marjorie. Leroy, you want to come along?
Well, I'd like to, Unc, but I got a little surprise of my own for tomorrow. I'm going over to Piggy Banks' house.
Oh, say, while you're there, Leroy, remind Piggy's sister Penny about coming tomorrow.
If you mean that Piggy Banks has a sister named Benny Banks?
Yes. Uh-huh. She was named after her Aunt Penelope, who lived in Indiana. Auntie is one of the...
Don't tell me, Marjorie. I know. One of the Banks of the Wabash.
Meatball. What you want with it?
I need it for Thanksgiving tomorrow.
Oh, you got the wrong instrument. On Thanksgiving, you play with drumsticks. Now beat it.
Oh, for corn's sake. Look, Pig, the reason I want it is because we're going to have a lot of soldiers for dinner.
So what? We're having our cousin Rockwell. He's a city alderman.
Oh, what's a measly old alderman? My uncle used to be a big shot in the Army. A major in the Missouri Mules.
What you mean?
Oh, that's what they called his outfit. Say, he recruited the toughest, meanest, fightingest outfit that ever come out of Missouri.
What kind of outfit was it?
Field artillery. You know, the cannoneers with hairy ears.
Do they really have hairy ears?
Oh, brother.
I still can't see that this got anything to do with borrowing my bugle.
Gee, you're dumb. I gotta make these soldiers feel at home so they can enjoy the turkey dinner. I'm gonna blow mess call on your bugle.
Oh, I get you. That's a keen idea, Meatball.
Now will you lend it to me?
Sure.
Well, now there's only one thing I gotta do.
What's that?
I gotta learn how to play a bugle.
My, those turkeys sure look good, Bertie. You don't happen to have a spare leg, do you?
No, sir, but I sure could use one with all the running around I got to do.
No, Bertie, I mean a spare turkey leg.
No, sir. I ain't going to subdivide none of them birds before the 0 hour.
Oh.
And when I serve them, they're going to be intact. A thing of beauty and a joy for about 2 minutes.
Yeah. How about some stuffing, then?
Nobody's going to do no stuffing nohow till everybody does.
Yes.
And that includes stuffing yourself with stuffed olives, too.
Oh, yeah. You talking to me?
Yes, sir. I've hardly got enough olives now to spell out welcome 32nd Regiment into mashed potatoes.
Huh?
You know, people have been coming to the door all morning asking for soldiers for dinner. Just because you went on the radio last night.
Yeah, but I told them to go down to Bacon Square. Jumping Jeeps, what's that?
Oh, it sounded like it came from the living room.
Well, it can't be anything serious. Then again, maybe it can. I'll find out right away. Leroy! Joe. What are you doing?
Learn how to blow mess call, Unc.
Was that mess call? Sounded more like a moose call.
Boy, won't those soldiers be surprised when they hear me blowing the bugle?
Yeah, and won't you, too?
Oh, gee, give me a little time. All I need is practice.
Yeah?
I heard in school that Grace Moore practices 6 hours a day.
Yeah, a lot of good it does her. I bet she still can't play the bugle. Well, it's a sweet thought, Leroy, even if your music is sour. Oh, there's a doorbell. I'll get it, folks. Yeah?
Excuse me, please. Is this the gentleman who was speaking last night by the radio from Soldiers for Thanksgiving?
Yes, madam.
Well, permit me to introduce myself. Mrs. Shapiro, glad to meet you.
How do you do, Mrs. Shapiro? Glad to meet you. What can I do for you?
Well, I got right now in the oven a nice young kosher turkey, and I am wanting a soldier who is likewise.
If... I'm sorry, Mrs. Shapiro, but I haven't anything to do with these soldiers officially. You'll find them down at Bacon Square.
Please. If the soldier boy I'm looking for is at Bacon Square, then he's not the soldier boy I'm looking for. Goodbye.
Huh?
You started downtown yet? You better get going. It's almost 12.
Oh, all right, as soon as I get my coat and hat. And Leroy. Leroy, come on if you're going downtown with me.
Okay, Unc, here I come.
Oh, stop that for a little. Young man, what are you doing swimming around in my old Army uniform?
Gee, Unc, that's part of the surprise. How do I look?
You and the mothballs look fine.
Oh, girls, come in here and see Leroy.
Looks cute at that.
Look, he's got Uncle's uniform on, and it's all pinned up. Isn't it cute the way the breeches almost reach to the floor and
Oh, Major Gildersleeve, why don't you put it on?
Oh, I'm sorry, girls. But I couldn't get into that uniform if it were 3 times as big as it is now and I was twice as small as I am. Which would still be half again as large as the suit would be if it were double the size of what it is now, which it isn't, thank goodness, because if it was, I'd have to wear it, and I can't because it doesn't fit. Leroy, With all those girls coming over to our house this afternoon, I'm going to have to ask for about 12 soldiers instead of 8.
Oh, that'll be super, Unc.
Huh?
Hey, look at all those tents. Gee, where are all the soldiers?
Oh, they must be inside.
Say, you don't think they've all been invited out already, do you?
Leroy, you get the most fantastic ideas. Hello, where is everybody? How do you knock on a pup tent?
There's nobody in here, Unc.
Oh, my goodness, nobody home. Leroy, get away from that cannon before it goes off and takes you with it. Why did we wait so long? If all these pup tents are empty, I'm certainly going to be in the doghouse.
Hey, Uncle Mort, here comes a soldier. Shall we invite them?
Yes, of course. Soldier?
Yeah?
How would you like to come over to my house for dinner now?
Oh, I don't know.
We're going to have a...
Hey, wait a minute. You leave this boy alone. He's coming home to dinner with me.
Is that so? Don't you try to rustle my recruit. I saw him first.
Oh, no, you didn't. I saw him first.
You did not. I saw him at least 20 seconds before you did.
Mister, I saw this boy 20 years before you did. He's my son.
You...
Come on, boy. Mom's waiting.
Yeah, Mom's waiting. Oh, my goodness. Leroy, if I don't bring back a bevy of boys for that gang of girls, my goose will be cooked instead of my turkeys.
Hey, let's look in this big tent. Maybe somebody's here.
Huh?
Oh, hello, mister.
Hello.
This is the mess tent, Leroy. Hello, Sergeant. Leroy, this is the mess sergeant. Where can I find some of your boarders, Sergeant?
They've deserted me. And after I've been working my fingers to the bone over a hot stove all morning.
Oh.
You mean they've all been invited to homes already?
Everybody, including my dishwasher.
Oh, Leroy, we're sunk.
You're sunk? What about me? 50 gallons of the finest turkey a la king made from a special recipe created by Prudence Penny. 20 dozen dainty Parker House rolls that couldn't be topped by Parker House himself. And 32 mince pies made out of the tenderest part of the mint.
Yeah. Well, I can sympathize with you, Sergeant, but maybe you can help us.
How?
Well, it just so happens that we've gotten ourselves in something of a mess, Sergeant. We have 3 turkeys and almost a dozen beautiful girls at our house, just waiting to entertain some soldiers.
Yeah, you should see the cookies that are waiting for the rookies.
You'd have a wonderful time at our house, Sarge. How about taking off that apron and coming with us?
I'm sorry, sir, but I'm on duty.
Yeah?
Like the captain of a ship, everybody else can leave. But I gotta get down with me pot.
Gee, that's too bad. Come on, Unc.
Before you go, I got just one slight request I'd like to make. Would you please take a taste of my turkey a la king?
Well, I don't think
Oh, come on. Huh? Just one teensy-weensy little taste.
Well.
Just so I didn't labor all morning in vain.
Yeah.
Here.
It's conscientious, isn't he, Leroy? Well, thank you.
You have some, son?
Thank you, but it has spoiled my appetite for dinner. And I've been saving this appetite for a week.
How do you like it, mister?
Well, I think I'll have a little more.
Oh, no, Uncle Mort. Come on, we gotta dig up some soldiers.
You're right, Leroy. Are you sure you won't come with us, Sarge?
No, buddy. Duty is duty. And besides, the colonel would be sure to catch me if I sneaked out.
Oh, the colonel. I'll bet he's got a few soldiers up his sleeve. Where can I find him?
Way over there at the other end of the square, sitting in his tent.
Yes, sir. Well, come on, Leroy. We'll lay our troubles in his lap.
Yes, I'm Colonel Atterbury. What can I do for you?
Colonel, my name is Gildersleeve.
Oh, yes, very unusual name. What can I do for you?
Colonel? I have a lovely big home, a wonderful cook, and a dozen of the sweetest girls in Summerfield.
What, no boys?
No. That's the trouble. No boys. We get all prepared to entertain 10 or 12 soldiers at dinner today, and when I come down to pick them up, what do I find? No soldiers. Not a single solitary rear rank, third assistant buck private.
Well, I'm sorry.
Sorry, he gargles. By George, this is a pretty pickle for our army to get itself caught over a barrel into.
Yeah, and after I've been practicing mess calls all day, too.
Yes, the poor little fellow almost blew his brains out.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do, Mr. Gildersleeve. Gildersleeve. So I think I know you from someplace. Huh?
Yes?
Yes, I can't place your face, but your manners are awfully familiar.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. As soon as some of our men return, I'll send them out to your house.
That's just the old brush-off. I'm just stubborn enough to stay right
Stubborn? That's it. I've got it. Mules. That's where I know you from. You were stuck again, Gildersleeve. The officer who bought more bad mules than the whole artillery could shake a stick at.
Why, you... Don't pay any attention to the way he jokes, Leroy. Great kidders, these Army men. Well, Colonel, now that you recognize me, I hope you'll trot out some suitable recruits for us to take home.
Gildersleeve, I've got just the right detachment for you.
Wonderful. Who are they?
Some old friends of yours. A whole corral full of mules that just love to be your guests. Whoa!
Come on, Leroy. Let's get out of here.
What am I laughing at? Donna, wish you'd invited me to go to dinner today.
Leroy, you better run along home now and tell the girls I'll bring back some soldiers if I have to call out the Marines.
Okay, Uncle, where are you going now?
I'm going to try the USO headquarters. And if you see any soldiers on the way home, grab them, even if they're wearing Civil War uniforms.
I'll do my best, Uncle Mort. See you when you get home.
Yeah, all right, Leroy. Look who's standing on the corner. Well, hello, Judge Hooker.
Hello, Gildersleeve.
What's wrong? You look as though you've lost your last friend. But, of course, I know that happened years ago.
Gildersleeve, I'll thank you to keep your nose out of my business.
I'll be only too glad to. What are you doing hanging around street corners?
Well, it's a long story.
Huh?
I happened to turn on the radio at home last night, and there was a fellow urging everyone to invite a soldier to dinner.
Oh, he did.
That speaker. There's a man. The way he told every citizen to do his duty by our new army was stirring and inspirational.
It was,
Yes. Why, the first thing I did this morning was phone the best restaurant in town and order the most expensive turkey dinner out to my house. I was going to invite a soldier to share it. That's the effect that speaker had on me.
Well, where is your soldier?
Well, that's where the trouble comes in. People at the USO headquarters tell me that there would have been plenty of them to go around if this radio speaker hadn't wrecked all their plans by urging everybody in town to come down after a soldier.
Oh, my goodness. So that was it. Of all the numbskull notions...
Not a word against that man, Gildersleeve.
Huh?
He made a wonderful impression on me. Clean-cut, vibrant personality. One of nature's noblemen, I should judge. Wish I could meet him someday.
Would you really want to?
Yes.
Well, then shake hands.
Oh, you'd like to meet him, too?
Good gracious, no, I am him.
What? You? Why, you hypocritical hippopotamus.
What?
No, that's wrong of me. I've misjudged you, Gildersleeve.
Well, I guess I've misjudged you too, Judge Hooker. I never thought you had a heart under that old thick hide of yours.
No?
No. I just thought your blood circulated because you brought it to a boil so often.
What are you doing roaming the streets on Thanksgiving afternoon, Gildy?
Yeah, same thing as you are, Hooker. Looking for some military men to fight their way through a couple of 20-pound turkeys.
Well, suppose we do our hunting together, Gildy, old pal.
Why not, old chum? After all, this is Thanksgiving Day, and we should treat each other like human beings for change.
Splendid. That goes for me, too. At least for today.
Yeah, well, come on. You work this side of the street, and I'll take the other side.
All right.
Oh, boy. Wait a moment.
What is it?
Look, here comes a young fellow in uniform now. And I saw him first.
Yes, that's so. Hey, son, come here.
Stop that, you double-crossing little botfly.
Young man, how'd you like a delicious turkey dinner?
Huh? Who, me?
Yes, he wants you to come up to my house.
I don't either. I'm in my house. I've got a great big turkey just for two of us.
We got 4 turkeys at our house, and we'll give you a whole one for yourself, son.
Well, gee whiz, I couldn't eat that much. And besides, I'm supposed to report to USO headquarters.
They're closed for the day, Corporal. Come on out to my house.
Oh, but I'm not a corporal.
Of course not, Sergeant. Now, my car's right over here. So if you'll excuse us, Judge...
Nope. Come this way with me, Lieutenant.
You wouldn't like it at his place, Captain.
Oh, now, gentlemen, please, let go of me. Hey, you're tearing my uniform.
Let go of the Major's uniform. Let's trot along.
Okay, if you want to get indigestion. Now, my turkey is...
His turkey is as old as he is and just as tough.
Hey, I wish somebody would tell me what this is all about.
Don't let him confuse you, son. I'll take you to a movie after dinner.
A movie? We're going to have dancing at our house. You'll have 12 beautiful hostesses to dance with.
Oh, who wants to dance on a full stomach?
You do, don't you, son?
Well, gee, I don't know. I never learned.
No time like right after dinner. Come on, that's my car right over there.
Of all the low-down, backbiting, double-dyed, unscrupulouses, I've had enough. Come back here, young man.
Who, me?
Yes, you. I'm going to start off entertaining you this afternoon by making this fat worm fold up like a road map. Here, hold my coat.
I'll be very glad to. No, I won't. Now, see here, Hooker. You point a pinky at me, and I'll beat the daylights out of you and then back in again.
Hey,
Gee, aren't you two fellas a little too old for this sort of thing?
If you keep out of this. Who invited you to? Say, I invited you. Come on, let's go home.
No, you don't, Gildersleeve. I'm going to knock you colder than an Eskimo mother-in-law's kiss.
Why, you old... Oh. What's the use of quarreling like this? If you've got your heart set on taking this young man home, Judge, I won't stand in your way.
Yeah, but haven't I anything to say?
No. Gildersleeve, do you mean this?
Yes, Judge. Go on, get your car. Hurry up now before I change my mind.
All right. You just wait right here, soldier. I'll be back in a jiffy, and then we'll have a wonderful dinner.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, Gildy.
Gee whiz, mister. You got me all confused. Do I have to have dinner with that other gentleman?
With that old goat? Of course not.
Huh?
Wait till he turns the corner. All right, come on now. Run like anything.
But the judge went that way.
I know that. My car's this way. Hurry up, boy.
Huh?
There they are now. Come on, girls, let's go to the front door. Come on. Bertie, get things ready. Leroy, there's your pew.
Well. Here we are at last. Step right in, son, and meet everybody.
Gee, thanks.
Girls, this is Jerry Arnold, Private Jerry Arnold of the United States Army.
Oh, no, sir.
Oh, you're not a private?
Oh, no, sir. I'm not even in the Army.
What? You're not?
Why, no, sir. I'm a Boy Scout.
Oh!
Great Gildersleeve will be with us again in a few minutes. But right now, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving next Thursday or the week after, there's one thing that's the same everywhere. Yes, that turkey's going to taste mighty good with all its trimmings and fixings. And we all want to remember that we Americans still have plenty to be thankful for. And another thing that's certain, if you make your Thanksgiving cakes and pastries and cookies with Parquet margarine, you're going to get plenty of compliments on their downright good taste. You see, the delicious flavor that makes Parquet margarine so popular for table use makes it wonderful for baking, too. Yes, as sure as Parquet is a delicious spread, it's a genuine flavor shortening, too, not a bland, tasteless fat. Parquet adds flavor to pan-fried foods, too, and it doesn't spatter or stick to the pan. So serve Parquet margarine at the table, use it for baking and pan-frying, too. Remember, you can use all you want, because Parquet margarine is economical and good for your family. Yes, Parquet margarine is a wholesome, nourishing energy food and a reliable source of vitamin A. So right now, add Parquet margarine to your shopping list. Remember, it's Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y.
Sorry, our time's up. Happy Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Original music heard on this program was composed and conducted by William Randolph. This is Jim Bannon speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company and inviting you to be with us again next week at this same time for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Mother, is Maxwell House the best coffee in the whole world?
Well, your father says so, and your father knows best.
Yes, if Father Knows Best, transcribed in Hollywood, starring Robert Young as father. A half-hour visit with your neighbors, the Andersons, brought to you by Maxwell House, America's favorite brand of coffee. Look for that familiar blue Maxwell House tin, featured in stores everywhere at lower prices, the lowest prices in months. Enjoy coffee that's always good to the last drop. Heap high the board with plenteous cheer, and gather to the feast, and toast the sturdy Pilgrim band whose courage never ceased. You know, the Pilgrims started the custom of Thanksgiving. But there are others whose trials and tribulations on an average Thanksgiving day bear inspection and a certain amount of sympathy. Take, for example, the Andersons, who live in Springfield in a white frame house on Maple Street. They count their blessings and give their thanks. But with 3 children in the house, even a simple rite like Thanksgiving can be a pretty complicated affair. Like this.
Mother!
We're in the den, Betty.
Is it all right if I borrow your earrings?
Betty! If you have anything to ask your mother, come down here and ask her.
Jumping creepers.
Sounds like she was reared in a barn. Stands up there screaming her head off.
Jim. Kathy is waiting to read her poem.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kathy. Go ahead.
Yes, Daddy.
Go ahead, dear.
Well, now what are you waiting for?
I have to be introduced.
Pardon me. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the competition in the 4th grade, Miss Kathleen Anderson. Is that better?
Now you have to applaud.
Okay, we applaud.
Thank you.
What a ham. Has to get her applause before she reads the poem.
Jim.
Doesn't want to take any chances.
All right, dear. Anytime you're ready.
Yes, Mommy. Thanksgiving Day by Kathleen Joy Anderson, 4th grade. Thanksgiving is a lucky day.
Wait a minute. What was that name?
The name?
Your name. Say it again.
Kathleen Joy Anderson.
Where did the joy come from? Your name is Kathleen Louise Anderson.
But I don't like Louise.
You what?
Jim, Kathy and I talked it all over.
My mother's name is Louise, and if it's good enough for my mother, it's good enough for her.
It's only a middle name, dear, and if she doesn't like it...
Why shouldn't she like it? What's wrong with it?
Nothing, Jim, but it's her name.
You're darn right it's her name. She's not going to change it. Now, go ahead.
Mommy?
Go ahead, dear.
Gee whiz.
My grandmother and her mother were named Louise. There's no reason why she should want to change it. Well?
What?
Read the poem.
Yes, Daddy. Thanksgiving Day by Kathleen Louise Anderson.
That's more like it.
4th grade.
That's much better.
Jim, please.
All right, Kathy, go ahead.
Thanksgiving is a lucky day for all the girls and boys. It isn't just like Christmas when your parents give you toys. It isn't even like Easter when you get an Easter bunny. Or even like your birthday when your uncle sends you money.
What?
Jim.
When did her uncle ever send her money? Or anything else?
Kathy.
She's 9 years old. He's never sent her a button. Gives her money. He's so tight he can't even sit down.
Jim Anderson, I know you don't like him, but he's been very good to my sister, and if Kathy needs him for her poems...
Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and your brother-in-law. Boy, is that a combination.
Go ahead, Kathleen.
Yes, Mommy. Thanksgiving Day by Kathleen...
Not from the beginning, Kathy. Start where you left off.
I don't remember where I was.
Your uncle was giving you money.
Oh.
That's something we can all remember.
Yes, Daddy.
This isn't a poem, it's a fairy tale.
Jim, if you say one more word...
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kathy.
Is it all right if I start up near Christmas?
Start anywhere you like, but start.
Okay. Thanksgiving Day by Kathleen. 4th grade.
Oh, dear.
Thanksgiving is a lucky day for all the girls and boys. It isn't just like Christmas when your parents give you toys. It isn't even like Easter when you get an Easter bunny. Or even like your birthday when your uncle gives you money.
I didn't say a word.
Go ahead, dear.
It isn't like the 4th of July or Decoration Day or summer vacation or Halloween.
Kathy, when are you going to stop telling us what it isn't like and tell us what it is like?
How can she when you keep interrupting?
Well, it's supposed to be a poem about Thanksgiving, isn't it? And what has she said? It isn't like Christmas. It isn't like the 4th of July. Who said it was?
Jim, the poem has already won the contest. We're just supposed to listen.
But as long as...
We're just supposed to listen. Go ahead, dear.
You mean from the beginning?
No. Start after that funny part where your uncle gives you money.
Okay. It isn't like the 4th of July or Decoration Day or summer vacation or Halloween when all the kids can play. No!
Good grief. Scare a man half out of his wits?
Mother, is it all right if I borrow your earrings?
Look what you've done. Ash is all over the floor.
Well, I'll clean it up, Margaret. Don't worry about it.
What happened?
Nothing happened. I knocked over the ashtray, that's all. Go ahead, Kathy.
Thanksgiving is a different day.
Excuse me, Kathy. I have to speak to Mother.
Let her finish the poem, Betty.
Father, I told Janie Liggett I'd be there early. She's counting on me.
You don't have to read a poem over the radio.
Oh, no. You mean she's going to read that horrible thing in public? Thanksgiving is a lucky day.
I didn't see you winning any free turkey dinner.
I didn't have to. The Liggets are going to have 3 turkeys.
Wait a minute. The way you kids talk, you'd think we'd never had a turkey in this house.
Jim.
I've got a good mind to keep you all home.
Father. Jim, it isn't a question of turkey. Kathy's principal told you.
Why couldn't they have their dinner some other day?
But Thanksgiving dinner was the prize, dear. For all 8 grades, it's become a major event.
And the Liggets. If somebody looks cross-eyed, Janie Liggett has a party.
Father, you said...
I know what I said. And it'll be a relief to get you all out of the house. Your mother won't have to spend all day cooking a dinner you'll wolf down in 20 minutes.
Jim.
We'll have a little peace around here. Even if it is Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is a different day. The day I like the best.
Kathy, I haven't asked about the earrings.
Which earrings, Betty?
The ones with the rhinestones.
Oh, dear, those are much too old for you.
Oh, no, they aren't, Mother. Really, they aren't.
Thanksgiving is a different day.
Just a minute, Kathy. Betty, if your mother says they're too old for you...
But they aren't, Father. I tried them on.
Don't you think something less formal would be more suitable?
But, Mother...
After all, rhinestones in the afternoon.
Not good, huh?
Not good at all.
How about the little pearl ones?
Oh, much better.
May I?
Of course, dear.
Oh, thank you, Mother. You're an angel. Go ahead, Kathy.
Maybe I ought to get the vacuum cleaner. The whole rug's a mess.
Just leave it, Jim. I'll clean it later.
It'll only take me a second.
Jim! All right, Kathy.
No.
Yes, get it over with, please.
Thanksgiving is a different day. The day I like the best. It's even better than Sunday, which is called the day of rest. Thanksgiving is my favorite day.
So long, everybody.
Oh, goodbye, dear. Now have a nice time.
Bud, what are you doing with my suitcase?
What?
Thanksgiving is my favorite day.
Come in here and bring the suitcase.
Gosh, I'm not going to hurt it, Dad.
Did anybody say you could borrow my suitcase?
No, Dad.
Then why are you taking it?
Well, I have to carry them in something.
Carry what?
The football letters. They're going to give them out at the dinner, and the coach said...
Put it back where you got it.
But the coach said I could eat with the team...
I said put it back.
Holy cow.
Thanksgiving is my favorite day.
Jim, he isn't going to hurt anything.
That's not the point. He has no right to take things without asking for them.
But you were busy, Dad. I tried to ask you this morning, remember? I said, Dad, and you said you thought it was going to be wonderful for you and Mom to have Thanksgiving dinner in a restaurant for a change. And I said, Dad, and you said you thought everybody made too much of a fuss about Thanksgiving anyway. And I said, Dad, and you said...
Bud. Take the suitcase.
Oh, boy.
And next time, ask for it.
I tried to, Dad. I said...
Bud.
Okay, Dad.
Goodbye now.
Oh, is Billy here, dear?
He's parked out front.
Well, have a good time.
Don't eat too much turkey.
I won't. See you later.
Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye, Betty.
Bye. Thanksgiving is my favorite day.
Just a minute, Kathy. Bud, are you driving downtown with Joe Phillips?
Yes, Dad.
Why don't you drop Kathy off at the school?
Okay. Come on, Kathy.
I haven't finished my poem.
Well, why haven't you? I haven't heard anything else for the past hour.
I tried to read it, and first you said that Uncle Richard...
Come on, Kathy, will you? I'm late.
Nobody ever lets me do anything just because I'm the littlest one in the family.
Kathy, read the poem.
Everybody thinks they can pick on me.
Kathy.
Thanksgiving is my favorite day, dear. That's where you left off.
And they don't have any right to... Thanksgiving is my favorite day, though the skies are gray and murky. 'Cause that's the day when I get to eat the drumstick of a turkey.
Well?
That's the end.
Some poem.
Fun. It's a very lovely poem, Kathy.
Thank you, Mommy.
You mean that won the competition?
Jim.
Well, I'm not surprised. It's very good. A little sentimental, perhaps, but very good.
Thank you, Daddy.
Get your coat, Kathy, and let's go.
Mr. Bryan said he'd bring me home, Mommy.
That's fine, dear.
And don't forget to listen to the broadcast.
We won't, and behave yourself.
Come on, will ya?
Well, stop pulling me. Why do you always have to pull me?
Thanks for the suitcase, Dad.
That's all right. Have a nice time, Bud. You too, Kathy.
Bye.
Be a good girl, Kathleen.
I will.
So long.
Goodbye, dear.
Well,
I'm completely exhausted. I don't know where they get all that energy.
Margaret, did she really win the competition with that poem?
She's only in the 4th grade, Jim. That's very good for the 4th grade.
When I was 9, I could write poems like that standing on my head.
Well, if you've ever seen Kathy study, you'd know that that's probably the way she wrote it.
Margaret.
Yes, dear.
Have you noticed how quiet it is?
Yes, dear.
Hasn't been this quiet for weeks, has it?
No, dear.
Well, it does you good to get away from the kids for a while. Gives you a chance to relax, take things easy. Read your paper and things.
Yes, dear.
Get the kids out of the house and it makes all the difference in the world. Get a little peace and quiet. Don't you?
Yes, dear.
All that excitement and shouting and running up and down stairs, absolutely unnecessary, isn't it?
I suppose so, dear.
Margaret.
Yes, dear.
I'm lonesome.
Yes, dear.
Well, Father has a right to feel lonesome. After all, Thanksgiving is a family day. But whether or not the family can gather to join in the festivities, we all have many things to be thankful for. We Maxwell House people, for instance, we're happy that our coffee is America's favorite brand. Happy that in so many homes, Thanksgiving dinner means a pot of Maxwell House coffee brewing on the stove, as well as the turkey in the oven and the pumpkin pies cooling on the shelf. We take a lot of pride in our coffee, and we want you to know you can count on Maxwell House every cup you pour. We'll keep it always good to the last drop on Thanksgiving Day and every day in the year.
That was very good, Barbara. Very good indeed. Now, our next winner is a rugged individualist indeed.
Jim, it's Kathy.
I'll be right in. She put her thoughts on Thanksgiving into verse and will now read the poem which won for her the competition in the 4th grade. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kathleen Andis.
Is it Kathy? Has she started yet?
Well,
I just wanted to know.
Thanksgiving Day by Kathleen Joy, Louise Anderson. 4th grade. Thanksgiving is a lucky day for all the girls and boys. It isn't just like Christmas when your parents give you toys.
Well, why doesn't she go on?
Jim, please.
Go ahead, Kathleen.
It isn't as if she had to remember anything. She's got it right in front of her.
Well, dear, she's probably very nervous.
Well, she can read, can't she?
Kathleen, we're waiting.
I want to go home.
Now what's gotten into her?
Oh, the poor little thing.
Miss Anderson just remembered a previous engagement. Well, perhaps we'll have better luck with our next little guest. The winner of the competition in the 5th grade.
You see, Margaret, I told you she shouldn't have gone.
Oh, my poor baby.
I've never heard anything like that in my entire life.
She was frightened, Jim, that's all.
Frightened of what? You can't shut her up when she's in the house. As soon as she's supposed to talk, she makes an oyster sound like Georgie Jessel. I tell you, Margaret.
Yes, Jim.
Do you think we ought to go down and get her?
Oh, I don't think so.
Poor kid's probably crying her heart out.
She'll get over it. And don't forget, they promised her 2 drumsticks.
I don't know. She didn't sound very hungry.
Do I?
What?
You promised me a Thanksgiving dinner at the townhouse, remember?
Oh, yes, I did, didn't I?
I'll get my hat and coat, or would you rather have me sue you for breach of promise?
Margaret.
Jim, there isn't anything wrong, is there?
Oh, no, honey. Everything's fine. It's just that... Well...
Yes?
I've been doing a lot of thinking, and, would you mind very much if we didn't go out?
Why, Jim...
I know I promised you dinner, but... Well, I'd just rather eat here.
There isn't anything to eat.
Sure there is. I saw a whole heap of hamburger in the icebox.
A hamburger on Thanksgiving Day?
Well, Margaret, to tell you the truth, this doesn't seem much like Thanksgiving. Not like the kind of Thanksgiving we used to know.
Well, it's finally happened after only 18 years. You're tired of me.
You know what I mean, don't you, honey?
I think so.
Thanksgiving has always been a special sort of a day for me. Even when I was a boy. It was more than just a holiday. It was a time when the whole family got together and had fun. We used to go out into the country to my grandmother's.
We did, too. Go to my grandmother's, I mean.
The whole family used to be there. My Uncle Rob and his wife and their 8 children, and my Uncle Will and his wife and their 10 children.
That must have been cozy.
Oh, it was. We ate in shifts. My grandmother always swore she was feeding half of the neighbors' kids. But it was fun.
Did you play games after dinner?
Heck no. We were so stuffed we couldn't move.
Oh, you were a bunch of sissies. We used to play Going to Jerusalem or musical chairs or charades.
That's pretty hard to do with just 2 people, isn't it?
Jim, there's one thing we mustn't forget. This is a new generation. It's a different sort of generation with new ideas and a new sense of values. Times have changed.
I guess they have. Let's go into the kitchen and see what we can throw together.
You're an old sentimentalist, Jim Anderson. That's what you are. And I love you.
I love you, too. You know, maybe if the kids get home early, we can all go to a movie or something. How'd you like that?
Oh, I wouldn't count on it, dear. Betty said not to expect her before midnight, and Bud's dinner won't start until 6.
Well, Kathy isn't going to stay out all night, is she?
Well, no.
Okay, then we'll take Kathy to the movies.
Well, we'll see, dear. It all depends on... Bud.
Hiya, Mom. Hi, Dad.
What are you doing here?
Fixing a hamburger. Want one?
Well, what happened to the dinner?
What dinner?
At the training table with the football team.
Oh, that dinner.
Well?
I don't know. I guess I just wasn't hungry.
Weren't hungry? You?
I'm going to call Dr. Simmons.
Wait a minute, Margaret. Bud, if you aren't hungry, why the hamburger?
The hamburger?
Pardon me, the 3 hamburgers.
Oh, well, I guess I got hungry.
Oh, Bud, if you don't feel well, please tell us.
But I do feel well, Mom. I feel fine.
Look, Bud, if you don't want to tell us the truth.
But I am telling you the truth. I didn't like the dinner, that's all. Bunch of big goofs sitting around talking about football. What good is that?
Since when don't you like to talk about football?
What good is that?
Since when don't you like to talk about football?
Just a second, honey. Kathy?
It's me, Father.
What's she doing home?
What on earth is...
We're in the kitchen, Betty.
I'll be
Oh, dear, just when everything was going so well.
Margaret, why do you immediately assume that something is wrong? Maybe the Liggets decided not to have a party. Or maybe Betty had the wrong day. Lots of things could have happened.
The party was today. I know it was.
Well, maybe it hasn't started yet.
What's everybody doing in the kitchen? Oh, hi, Bud. What are you doing here?
Oh, nothing much. Want a hamburger?
Okay.
Never mind the hamburgers, Bud. We've got things to discuss that are much more important.
Then hamburgers?
Do you feel all right, dear?
Sure. Why?
You told your mother you wouldn't be home until midnight.
Oh, well, I wasn't going to, but I came up with the most awful headache.
Jim.
You just said you felt fine.
I do. Oh, I do except for this headache.
Jim, I'm going to call Mrs. Liggett and ask her.
Mother, you know if there was anything wrong, I'd tell you. I always have, haven't I?
Yes, dear, you have. But...
Just a minute, Margaret. Kathy?
Yes, Daddy?
We're in the kitchen. Come on in.
Yes, Daddy.
See, Margaret, I told you we should have gone down for her.
Well, I had no way of knowing.
What's the matter with Kathy?
Your sister reads the first line of her poem and bursts into tears.
No kidding.
The poor little thing. Hello.
Oh, Angel.
Hello, sweetheart. Come on over here and tell your daddy all your troubles.
I don't have any troubles, Daddy. I'm just not happy.
Well, it isn't anything to cry about, is it?
It was a lovely poem, darling, even if you didn't read it.
And don't you worry, knothead. If anybody makes fun of you, I'll poke 'em right in the nose.
Oh, Bud.
I don't care if they do make fun of me. I didn't want to read my poem, not to them.
Why, Kathy, they're your friends.
I don't want them. It's Thanksgiving, and I wanted my mommy and my daddy and my sister and my brother. I was lonesome.
Kathy, darling.
She's all right, Margaret. Just leave her alone.
Mother.
Yes, Betty.
I was lonesome, too.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
Oh, Jim.
Margaret, not you.
Yes, me too.
Good grief. You sound like the third act of Uncle Tom's Cabin. What's the matter with you, Bud?
Nothing. I just feel like blowing my nose, that's all.
Well, blow it. Now, get busy with the hamburgers.
Okay, Dad.
How about a little food for the hungry Anderson?
Well, I'm starving.
Hamburgers. It's a fine thing to serve for a Thanksgiving dinner, isn't it?
It sounds fine to me.
I don't care what part of the hamburger I get. As long as it's the drumstick.
That girl, Kathy. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's sit down and be comfortable.
Well, I'll take over, Bud.
I'm doing fine, Mom.
Oh, Bud, really?
Now, don't argue with the chef, Margaret. Just sit down and relax.
Well, if you insist.
4 hamburgers coming up.
Well, that'll take care of me, but what are they going to eat?
Betty.
Oh, you big pig.
Margaret, kids, before we dig into these juicy Thanksgiving burgers, may I say something?
Sure,
Go ahead,
Father.
This has been, I think, the happiest Thanksgiving day of my entire life. And if you don't mind, I'd like to say a special grace. Oh, Lord, we give thee thanks from the bottom of our humble hearts for the blessings thou hast seen fit to bestow upon us. We thank thee for the food that graces our table and the roof that covers our head. We thank thee for the privilege of living as free men in a country which respects our freedom, our personal rights to worship and think and speak as we choose. But most of all, dear Lord, we thank thee for making us a family, for giving us sincerity and understanding. We thank thee for giving us the most cherished gift a family may know, the gift of love for one another. Amen.
in the Anderson Breakfast Nook, life has eased back into its accustomed groove. Thanksgiving Day is over, but the Andersons, well, they go on forever, like this.
Why can't I wear lipstick? Claudia McHugh does, and she's only 12.
Here's your coffee, dear.
Thank you.
Well?
Well, what?
Well, why can't I?
Because I said you couldn't. And eat your breakfast.
Gee whiz.
Oh, Margaret, we've got to do something about that boy. He's beginning to shake the house.
I'll speak to him, dear.
If he can't take it easy on the stairs, don't feed him so much. One of these days he's going to go right through.
Hiya, Dad. Good morning,
Hi.
Mom.
Sit down and eat your breakfast.
Good morning, dear.
He didn't say anything to me.
Hiya, Squirt.
Good morning. Mother, do you know what Bud did? He used my good cologne on his hair.
Good morning, Betty.
I used 2 drops.
You used practically the whole bottle.
I did not.
Good morning, Betty.
Mother, if I can't have a little privacy with my own thing.
Betty.
What?
Good morning.
Good morning, Father.
That's better. Sit down, eat your breakfast.
Jumping creepers.
You know, Margaret, there's one thing I'm really going to enjoy about our Thanksgiving Day dinner yesterday.
What's that, dear?
We're probably the only family in Springfield that won't be eating leftover turkey for the next month.
Yes, dear.
What are we going to have for dinner tonight?
Leftover hamburgers.
So you don't think your family will ever be hungry again? Well, you just wait till tomorrow morning. The kids will be banging their spoons for breakfast the same as ever. So be ready with steaming bowls of hot post wheatmeal. And tell the youngsters it's Hopalong Cassidy's favorite hot cereal. Yes, hot post wheatmeal with solid whole wheat nourishment and rich nut-like flavor that Hopalong sure goes for. Hot post wheatmeal. You'll see, you'll all agree, it's the best hot cereal you ever ate.
These days, stores everywhere are featuring lower prices on Maxwell House coffee. The lowest prices in months. Bring home one of those familiar blue tins tomorrow and enjoy coffee that's always good to the last drop. Join us again next week when we'll be back with Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young as Jim Anderson, with Roy Bargy and the Maxwell House Orchestra, and yours truly, Bill Foreman. So until next Thursday, good night and good luck from the makers of Maxwell House. Father Knows Best was transcribed in Hollywood and written by Ed James. Now stay tuned in for Dragnet, which follows immediately over most of these stations.
Exciting Dragnet is next, then We the People on NBC.
Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair bring you Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden. It's time once again for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks, written by Al Lewis. Well, last Thursday was Thanksgiving Day, and most of us realized that we had quite a bit to be thankful for. Even our Miss Brooks, who teaches English at Madison High School.
Yes, the holiday means a lot to me. First, it gives me an opportunity to relax and count my lack of blessings. And second, it offers a chance to catch up on several days' brooding. But this Thanksgiving was different. I knew it was going to be when I joined my landlady at breakfast last Wednesday morning. Good morning, Mrs. Davis. Did you have a nice night?
Wonderful, Connie. I didn't sleep a wink.
That sounds like fun.
I was planning my menu for tomorrow. It's Thanksgiving, you know, and I wanted something special for Minerva and me.
Minerva? Oh, there you are, you cute little kitten.
Where is she, Connie?
Taking my stocking off with her cute little paws. Stop it, Minerva. Now get away from my stocking. Either get away from those or knit me a new pair with that ball of yarn you play with.
Go out to the kitchen, Minerva. I want you to hear about tomorrow's menu.
What are you having, Mrs. Davis?
Minerva's favorite dish. SQUAB. It doesn't do a bit of good to spell things out anymore.
I guess she's too old for that. Please go into the kitchen, Minerva. There's some milk out there. Right under the SINK. Don't tell me she slammed the door behind her.
No, that was me, Connie. I wanted to show you the squab I got for tomorrow.
Oh, I'd like to see it.
Well, here it is.
Where? Oh, right there behind that carrot.
It isn't very big, is it?
I've seen stuffing with larger drumsticks.
You know, Connie, I was all ready to get a nice 10-pound turkey yesterday when the clerk at the market said something that made me change my mind.
What did he say?
$8.30.
Well, that is a pretty rude remark.
I'm afraid I was a little testy when I complained about the price. Anyway, when I demanded something cheaper, this is the bird he gave me.
You certainly did.
Well, it'll be enough for Minerva and myself. I suppose you've already been invited somewhere for turkey and all the fixings.
Where would you suggest?
Hasn't Mr. Boynton asked you out for Thanksgiving dinner, Connie?
Not yet, Mrs. Davis, but this morning he's going to be exposed to the most thorough opportunity to do so.
Good.
Of course, Mr. Boynton's been on a very strict budget lately. He probably can't afford any turkey dinners.
Then you bring him back here with you, Connie.
Oh, that's very sweet of you, Mrs. Davis, but that squab...
We'll make it do. Remember the old saying, there's always room for just one more.
In this case, you must mean one more squab. Well, thanks anyway, Mrs. Davis. After all, we've still got our health, which is more than I can say for that squab.
Of course, I'd rather see you eat a nice turkey dinner tomorrow. Maybe you could wrangle yourself an invitation from one of your friends.
Oh, please, Mrs. Davis. Oh, that must be Walter Denton. He's giving me a lift to school. Be right there, Walter.
Why don't you find out what his folks are planning for tomorrow? Maybe you could get yourself invited there.
I'm surprised at you, Mrs. Davis. Why, I'd never forced myself on anyone in my life.
Connie, take another look at that squab.
Like I say, Walter's mother may not know it yet, but there's always room for just one more. Oh, it certainly is nice weather for Thanksgiving, isn't it, Walter?
It's more than nice, Miss Brooks. This air is absolutely succulent. It's downright savory and delicious.
One more crack like that, and I'll be gnawing on the steering wheel. Tell me, Walter, how do you usually spend Thanksgiving?
Well, usually, Mom cooks a big turkey and we have dinner around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Gosh, I'll never forget last year's meal. First, we had a fresh fruit cup, then some delicious vegetable soup, and then this big golden brown turkey was served with a special dressing made out of chestnuts and raisins and stuff, and... You want to hear the rest of it, Miss Brooks?
Certainly. Just pass me a blotter and keep talking.
Well, I don't remember all the dishes, but the hot mince pie was really tops. And my mom is just about the best cook in this town.
And like most good cooks, she probably prepares more food than she really needs.
Oh, sure. Last year's turkey, the whole family had turkey, turkey giblets, turkey sandwiches, and turkey hash.
That's because you didn't invite enough guests over for Thanksgiving dinner. You know, Walter, I've often thought that people who are so close to each other all year round should somehow manage to spend their holidays together as well.
What kind of people are you talking about, Miss Brooks?
Well, school teachers and students, for example.
Who needs teachers on a holiday? I mean, most teachers you get enough of during school hours, if present company accepted, of course. Oh, you're a lot different, Miss Brooks.
I know, I'm hungrier. Look, Walter, about spending Thanksgiving together, if you're planning to be with your folks...
Oh, but I'm not, Miss Brooks. Now, my mother and Dad are going out of town for the weekend. It's my dad's first vacation in 2 years.
How come you're not leaving town with them?
It's my dad's first vacation in 2 years. Oh, he loves me, but he thinks I'm a little wearing in spots. So I'm staying over at Stretch Snodgrass's house until next week.
Oh, I see. Then you'll have Thanksgiving dinner with Mr. and Mrs. Snodgrass.
No, ma'am, they're going away with my folks. They're good friends, you know, just like Stretch and me. But, Miss Brooks, I think your idea about spending Thanksgiving together is swell.
You do?
Sure. Now, why don't you and Stretch and me have dinner tomorrow?
Dinner? Well, that might be very nice,
Oh,
Walter.
great. Then Stretch and I'll be over to your place at 3 o'clock sharp.
My place?
Well, yeah. That is, if you still want us.
I wouldn't be without you. But, Walter, Mrs. Davis did the shopping yesterday, and there just weren't any good-sized turkeys left that she could afford. So what she bought was a very
what she
small...
bought isn't important, Miss Brooks. What counts is spending Thanksgiving with people who mean something to you. Gee, the Pilgrims certainly had it all over us modern characters. When a pilgrim wanted to celebrate the holiday, he just picked up his musket and shot himself a turkey.
At the current prices, Walter, the only way I'll have a turkey tomorrow is if I pick up a musket and shoot myself a butcher.
Come in.
Good morning, Mr. Boynton. I just wanted to talk to you for a minute before your first class.
Well, I'm glad you dropped in, Miss Brooks. I've got some rather exciting news this morning.
I'll be glad to. What is it, Mr. Boynton?
Well, do you remember the raffle ticket I bought last month in Marty's malt shop?
Oh, on that green Adams hat with the red feather?
No, on a tom turkey. They had the drawing last night, and I won. Isn't that wonderful?
That is what I call the coincidence of all time.
Coincidence?
Why do you think I stopped by your laboratory this morning?
Well, I don't know.
To invite you over for Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow.
Well, that is nice of you, Miss Brooks. I'll be happy to come over. About what time will you be expecting me?
I'll be expecting you and Tom about noon.
Tom? Oh, you mean the turkey. Well, I'm afraid he won't be with me, Miss Brooks. You see, at this very moment, the turkey is on a train headed upstate.
Why? Did he get fed up with our climate?
No, I sent him up to my folks' place. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford to visit my parents this year, but, well, now they'll have something to remind them of me anyhow.
Must be a very tall turkey. What did he weigh, Mr. Boynton?
Oh, about 18 pounds. Of course, what I'd do with an 18-pound turkey, I'll never know.
Until tomorrow. Well, I'd better be running along now. On second thought, you needn't get to the house until 3 or 3:30. On third thought, you can back out of the whole thing if you want to.
Back out? I should say not. I'll be there all right, and thanks for the invitation.
You're welcome. But, Mr. Boynton, if you're expecting the conventional Thanksgiving Day dinner, you're liable to be a little disappointed. I'm just not having it.
Oh, what are you having?
So far, Walter Denton and Stretch Snodgrass.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, will continue in just a moment. But first, here is Vern Smith. Now, proof that brushing teeth right after eating with Colgate Dental Cream helps stop tooth decay before it starts. Continuous research, hundreds of case histories, makes this the most conclusive proof in all dentalist research on tooth decay. Eminent dental authorities supervised hundreds of college men and women for over 2 years. One group always brushed their teeth with Colgate right after eating. The other followed their usual dental care. The group using Colgate Dental Cream as directed, using Colgate's exclusively, showed a startling reduction in average number of cavities, far less tooth decay. The other group developed new cavities at a much higher rate. No other dentifrice offers proof of these results. Modern research shows decay is caused by mouth acids, which are at their worst right after eating. Brushing teeth with Colgate as directed helps remove acids before they harm enamel. Yes, Colgate contains all the necessary ingredients, including an exclusive patented ingredient for effective daily dental care. So remember, always use Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay.
Well, Thanksgiving Day arrived right on schedule, mostly because I couldn't do anything to stop it. After breakfast, I headed straight for the kitchen. There, I took a good look at Mrs. Davis's squab. Then I took an aspirin. Then I gave the squab an aspirin. Then I decided to make Mrs. Davis a full partner in my panic. Oh, this is terrible, Mrs. Davis. We can't possibly serve 5 people with this amount of food.
Calm down, Connie. We'll make out some way. I've got cans of salmon in the house, and some cheese and crackers and tidbits of one sort or another.
But one doesn't serve tidbits for Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, I wish that bird looked bigger. Did you stuff him again since we last discussed it?
I've stuffed him 5 times since then, Connie. In fact, the last time I went to fill him up, I got the feeling that he was trying to kick my hand away.
Oh, it's no use, Mrs. Davis. It just won't work.
I still think you should follow the advice I gave you yesterday, Connie, and get yourself invited out for a real turkey dinner.
But I've already asked Mr. Boynton to join me.
Then get him invited along with you.
Well, what about Stretch Snodgrass and Walter Denton?
Take them along, too.
Why not? While we're at it, why don't you and Minerva join our happy little group?
We'd love to, Connie. Where are we going?
I don't know where you're going, but I'm going to take another aspirin.
I'm sure the Conklins would like to have you over. I ran into Martha yesterday, and she told me that she was all ready to carve a huge turkey.
Oh, is she fighting with Mr. Conklin again?
Now, don't be silly, Connie. Martha even remarked yesterday that she was hoping Mr. Conklin would ask some of the teachers in to share their dinner.
I can just picture that. If Mr. Conklin saw any teachers at his dinner table, he wouldn't know what to bite first.
That doesn't apply to Mr. Boynton, though. Osgood is quite fond of him. And he's also extremely taken with Stretch Snodgrass. Thinks he's the best athlete Madison's ever had.
Well, what about his attitude toward me?
Call anyway. Remember, Connie, pride goes before a fall. You've got to make a hit with Mr. Boynton. Here, I'll dial the number for you.
Oh, but Mrs. Davis, Mr. Conklin can't stand the sight of Walter Denton.
No,
I know he
dear. His daughter Harriet is crazy about the boy.
Hello?
1 moment, please. Miss Brooks is calling. Here, Connie.
Oh, hello?
Oh, hello, Miss Brooks. This is Harriet. Gee, I'm glad you called. You're having Walter Denton over for dinner, aren't you?
That's the original plan, Harriet.
I wish we could all have dinner together, Miss Brooks. I was just talking to Mother about it this minute.
You were? Well, now that's funny. I wanted to talk to Mother about the same thing.
Wonderful, Miss Brooks. Wait a minute, I'll put her on.
Thanks, Harriet. Harriet and her mother were just talking about getting together for dinner, Mrs. Davis.
Hello, Miss Brooks.
Hello, Mrs. Conklin.
Forgive me if I talk rather quietly, but Mr. Conklin's taking a nap in the living room. He needs the rest, you know. He's been rather irritable lately.
I know, for the last 5 years. We've known each other for 5 years now, and, well, the reason I called...
Harriet told me, Miss Brooks. I just know you feel exactly as we do. That people should share their Thanksgiving joy with their friends.
That's right, Mrs. Conklin. You understand, though, that it isn't just me. I've already invited Walter, Stretch, and Mr. Boynton.
The more the merrier, I always say.
Well, I'm glad you always say that, Mrs. Conklin, because my little party lacks just one thing, which you and only you can provide.
What a beautiful way to put it. I can only say, Miss Brooks, that we'll be proud and happy to share Thanksgiving dinner with you and your friends.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Conklin.
Thank you, my dear. Harriet and Mr. Conklin and I will be at your place at 2 o'clock sharp.
It's almost 1, Mother. Don't you think we should wake Daddy?
In a minute, Harriet. Did you take our turkey down to the mission like I told you?
Yes, Mother. I just got back. They certainly were grateful. The man said it would feed almost a dozen people who ordinarily would go without any Thanksgiving meal at all.
Fine, dear. I know your father will be happy at the thought of sharing with our lesser privileged citizens. Now go on in and wake him up, Harriet.
Yes, Mother. Daddy?
Have some more white meat, please.
It's time to get up, Daddy.
Hmm? What's the matter? Oh, it's you, child. What time is it?
1 o'clock. How do you feel after your nap?
Fine, Harriet, just fine. Except for one thing.
What's that?
I could eat my weight in wildcats. Martha! Oh, Martha!
Yes, dear? What is it?
Let's not wait till 2 o'clock for dinner. I'd like to eat right now.
Oh, but Osgood,
I saw that turkey in the oven when it was finished this morning, Martha, and I just can't get it out of my mind. Oh, it sure smells good, too.
You must have a pretty long smeller, dear. We gave our turkey to the folks who run the mission. We're going out for dinner.
Oh, but I don't want to go out. I want to eat in my robe and slippers and... You gave our turkey to whom?
It's a mission, dear. It's like a municipal shelter, you know.
The man said our turkey would feed almost a dozen underprivileged citizens.
Oh, he did. Well, teachers are underprivileged citizens, too. But I don't give them my Thanksgiving dinner.
Now, calm down, Osgood. This is no day for your high blood pressure to get out of hand. We're going over to Margaret Davis' place to have dinner with Miss Brooks and some of her friends.
Miss Brooks, who needs teachers on a holiday?
Mrs. Davis is a very exotic cook. I'm sure she'll have some wonderful dishes prepared for you.
But I don't want Mrs. Davis's dishes. I want turkey. Turky. Turkey.
Now, everyone buys too much for Thanksgiving dinner. Otherwise, we'd have brought our turkey over to Miss Brooks. But as it is, think of the joy you're sharing with the people at the mission, Osgood.
Joy my foot. The food at Miss Brooks' place had better be good today. Good. It had better be great.
Every time I tried to call Mrs. Conklin back, the party line was in use. Now they don't answer. They're probably on their way over here this minute to eat dinner or not to eat dinner.
Please, Connie, you're beginning to sound like Hamlet. Don't worry so about the Conklins. They'll probably bring their turkey over with them, and we'll have plenty.
Do you really think so, Mrs. Davis?
We'll soon know, Connie. Will you answer the door, please? I'm trying to find some more cans of salmon, just in case.
All right, Mrs. Davis.
Happy Thanksgiving, Miss Brooks.
A very happy Thanksgiving, Miss Brooks.
Hello.
The same to you. But is this all the party?
What do you mean, Miss Brooks?
I mean, just you three? Nothing waiting out in the car or anything?
Well, we were going to bring our turkey along, but we know what a well-stocked larder you folks must have, so we donated it to the mission.
The mission?
One of my favorite charities. There's no joy like sharing. May we come in now and start sharing yours?
Of course, Mr. Conklin. If you'll just sit here in the living room, I'll go back to the kitchen and tell Mrs. Davis you're here.
Oh, Harriet and I will go back and help out, Miss Brooks. You've done enough for one day. Why, I'll bet you worked like a beaver this morning.
Gnawed through 6 fingernails. Oh, I didn't do too much, no.
Come on, Mother. I'll fix the salad dressing that new way you showed me.
All right, dear. And I'll tell Mrs. Davis about the new things we've been doing with parsley.
Never mind the side dishes. Let's just get that turkey to the table pronto.
You chat with Miss Brooks, dear. We'll just be a little while.
We'll make it snappy. I could eat my weight in wildcats, Miss Brooks.
If they come in cans, you may get the chance. I mean, we'll be sitting down as soon as the others arrive, Mr. Conklin.
Oh, yes, I forgot. You're having some of your friends in. I hope that lame-brained dunce, Walter Denton, isn't expected.
Want some popcorn, Mr. Conklin? Or potato chips?
No, thanks. Who's coming to this dinner, Miss Brooks?
Well, Mr. Boynton, for one.
Oh, nice chap, Boynton. Far less irritating than many of his contemporaries.
What's the trouble, Mr. Conklin?
I'm not a well man. I've had some very strange symptoms lately.
What kind of symptoms?
Well, every so often I get sudden, blinding flashes of appetite.
Oh, well, that's because you're under such a strain, Mr. Conklin. You see, under great emotional tension, many people experience sudden and uncontrollable appetite. It's psychosomatic to some extent.
Really? Now, perhaps you'd like me to stretch out on the couch and tell me how, at the age of 3, I was convinced that my younger brother was a Cocker Spaniel.
Yours, too? I was only trying to stall. Help, Mr. Conklin. I had an aunt who suffered just like you do. I remember one time my uncle caught his nose in the piano bench. Auntie ran right down to the corner and bought herself a pickle.
A pickle?
It satisfied her nervous craving. When she stayed with us, we always had to keep a big supply of food on hand. Big juicy steaks, chops, chicken, ducks, cold cuts, potato salad.
Please, Miss Brooks. I want my dinner.
But, Mr. Conklin, the others aren't... It's open. Come on in.
Hello, Miss Brooks. Oh, Mr. Conklin, say, this is a surprise.
Hello, Boynton. Can we sit down now, Miss Brooks?
Not quite yet. Pull up a chair, Mr. Boynton.
Thanks. Well, how does the turkey look? Did you get a nice-sized bird?
Well, to be honest, Mr. Boynton, our turkey may not be such a big bird, but I'm sure the party is going to be a very big turkey. Oh, I almost forgot. There are some salted peanuts in this dish, Mr. Conklin.
One would almost think you were trying to destroy my appetite. But nothing can do that, Miss Brooks. Absolutely nothing.
Well, the door was open, so I just breezed on in. Hi, Miss Brooks.
Here comes nothing now.
Huh? Oh, hi, Mr. Boynton and Mr. Conklin.
Hello, gentlemen.
Miss Brooks, I've got some bad news for you.
You'll have to get in line, Walter. What is it?
Well, Stretcher's aunt and uncle insisted that he have dinner with them today, so he can't possibly be here in time to eat with us. Isn't that awful?
I'm absolutely devastated.
Me too. Gosh, Miss Brooks, what'll we do with all the extra food that's left over?
We'll eat it.
At last! Come on! May I escort you to the dining room, Miss Brooks?
It won't be necessary, Mr. Boynton. I'll just follow Leo the lion.
I've cut the squab into small pieces and sprayed it with sweet air, Connie. Nobody will know it isn't turkey. Now then, keep the lid on this big tray except when you're serving, and they won't know how little we've got.
All right, Mrs. Davis. I might as well trot it in. Well, here we are. What'll you have, Mrs. Conklin?
Oh, serve Mr. Conklin first, will you, dear? He's quite hungry.
Certainly. Mr. Conklin, what'll it be?
I'll have a drumstick.
A drumstick. Yes, sir. Here you are.
Where I are.
The drumstick. This is it. You know what they say, the nearer the bone, the sweeter the meat.
If this has any meat on it, it must be inside the bone.
Well, this is a brand new breed of turkey, Mr. Conklin. They've been experimenting for years with this type on the theory that the shorter the legs, the larger the breast.
Oh, then give me some of that.
Yes, sir. Here it is.
This is it?
This it is. You see, when they were experimenting with the short legs, the breast didn't quite get the idea of what they were trying to do.
Well, where are the wings?
This bird didn't get his wings. He flunked out in basic training.
I thought we'd never get out of that place. Fine dinner that was.
Take it easy, Osgood. We'll stop off on our way home and get a bite somewhere.
I thought the salmon was quite tasty. But, Mother, why do you suppose Miss Brooks took Mr. Boynton aside and then excused herself in the middle of the meal and left?
Why, it was obvious, dear. Miss Brooks wanted us to have enough to eat.
To think we sent a beautiful 16-pound turkey to the mission.
Everything happens for the best, dear. See, that's the mission right ahead of us. What a big line of people waiting to be fed. Doesn't it do your heart good to know that we
Mother,
can...
look. That man with the 2 plates full of turkey.
Yeah, full of my turkey. Why, it's Mr. Boynton.
So it is. And who's that right behind him with the blue cap and hitting the big bass drum?
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Open up the door, Lord,
returns in just a moment, but first, dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl.
Tonight? Yes, tonight. Show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream shampoo. Luster Cream, world's finest shampoo. No other shampoo in the world gives Kay Duma's magic blend of secret ingredients plus gentle lanolin. Not a soap, not a liquid. Luster Cream shampoo leaves hair 3 ways lovelier. Fragrantly clean, free of loose dandruff, glistening with sheen, soft, manageable. Even in hardest water, Luster Cream lathers instantly. No special rinse needed after a Luster Cream shampoo. So gentle, Luster Cream is wonderful even for children's hair. Tonight, yes, tonight, try Luster Cream shampoo.
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl. You owe your crowning
too, a luster cream shampoo.
And now, once again, here is our Miss Brooks.
Well, after Mr. Boynton and I had helped to feed over 50 underprivileged citizens, including Mr. Boynton and me, we found out that we had enough money between us to take in a movie. But on our way to the Strand, Mr. Boynton suddenly stopped.
Miss Brooks, helping out at the mission made me realize how lonely the most festive occasion can be if you're not sharing it with someone.
You're so right, Mr. Boynton. I guess you and I are pretty fortunate.
Oh, we certainly are. But I just remembered that there's another member of medicine's faculty who's all alone tonight and needs cheering up pretty badly. Let's do something about it, shall we, Miss Brooks?
Oh, that's a wonderful idea, Mr. Boynton. I'm all for it. I suppose you're referring to our French colleague, Monsieur Leblanche.
Oh, no, Miss Brooks. I was thinking of Miss Enright. Let's go pick her up right now.
Who needs teachers on a holiday?
Next week, we're into another Our Miss Brooks show brought to you by Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous, caressable hair and Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth and help stop tooth decay. Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, is produced by Larry Burns, directed by Al Lewis, with music by Wilbur Hatch. Mr. Boynton is played by Jeff Chandler, Mr. Conklin by Gail Gordon. Here's good shaving news. 3 men out of every 4 can get more comfortable, actually smoother shaves with Palmolive Brushless Shaving Cream. This is not just a claim. Here's the proof. 1,297 men tried the Palmolive Brushless way to shave described on the tube. And no matter how they shaved before, 3 men out of every 4 got more comfortable, actually smoother shaves. Try Palmolive Brushless yourself. See if you don't get more comfortable, actually smoother shaves the proved Palmolive Brushless way. For mystery liberally sprinkled with laughs, listen to Mr. and Mrs. North. Tune in Tuesday evening over most of these same stations. And be with us again next week at the same time for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks. Bob Lamont speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
From Hollywood, the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show for Hormel and Spam. Crazy people. Spam, rebop, boom, spam. George Burns and Gracie Allen. On a show where there's orchestra, singing glee with a smoothie street. Last but not least, with Bud Heaston. A quiz question, friends, and it will pay you to know the answer. Ready for the question? All right. What is an easy way to serve the family a swell main course for dinner that costs but a few cents? There's no magic about it. Just open a can of Spam, S-P-A-M, and bake according to the simple directions on the label. Takes only a jiffy, and you'll set before the family a delicious taste surprise that satisfies even the huskiest appetite. That's because Spam is grand-tasting meat, and baked, it certainly makes a hit. The perfect combination of juicy pork shoulder and ham meat, originated by Hormel, gives Spam extra flavor, extra goodness. Try a Spam bake for dinner tomorrow. Just be sure you ask your food dealer for S-P-A-M Spam. The stars of our big happy family, George and Gracie.
Thank you very, very much. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen...
Oh, George, where's Gracie?
She's not here. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen...
George, can you do a show without Gracie?
Certainly I can do a show without her. Do you think I need Gracie?
Certainly, Bud. He needs Gracie about as much as Dorothy Lamour needs a sarong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Well, listen, I happen to have a lot of talent and... Well, I'll answer you later. Hello?
This is Spam's Meet. I'm Gracie Allen speaking.
Gracie, where are you? We're doing a broadcast, and you're supposed to be here.
I couldn't get down on account of my granddaddy's very sick. He was on the floor all last night, and we're awfully worried.
He was on the floor?
Yes.
What about the bed?
Well, we couldn't use that. We had a party here last night. Where could we put the hats and coats?
Well, Gracie, where's your granddaddy now?
He's down in the kitchen with a temperature of 105, and we're awfully
He has
worried.
a temperature of 105?
Yes, and we're...
Well, why'd you got him in the kitchen?
Well, he's defrosting the icebox.
Your granddaddy's in the Frigidaire?
For 7 hours.
Well, aren't you afraid he'll freeze?
Oh, that's impossible. Every hour we open the Frigidaire and ask him if he's cold. He doesn't answer.
Look, Gracie, we're doing a broadcast.
Really? What station? I must listen in.
Well, never mind. There's a smart idea, putting a man with a temperature in a Frigidaire. I suppose to cure him, they'll put an ice pack on his head and a hot water bottle on his feet.
Oh, George, all they need to use is a can of Spam.
Can of Spam?
Sure, cold or hot, it hits the spot.
Oh, yes. But you're a regular Dr. Kildare. Look, everybody, not that I need Gracie, but I think we ought to go over to Gracie's house and do the broadcast. Might make an old man happy.
Well, if it's going to make you happy, George, let's go.
Oh. Quiet.
Bueno, podemos hacer una cosa. Yo tengo un carro nuevo. Si quieren, yo
back again,
puedo
folks.
llevar
Yes,
allá.
guitar player, I know. What is it, Senor Lee?
Why don't you drive down in my car? I just got a brand new rooster.
A rooster?
Si, senor. A car made by General Motors.
And it's not General Motors, it's General Motors.
Oh.
A mother is, well, for example, when you were a baby, who combed your hair?
That's what I'd like to know. The part isn't straight.
Well, quiet. Come on, everybody. We got to get to Gracie's house. Oh, well, here we are at Gracie's house. I'll ring the doorbell.
George, you better knock on the door. The bell doesn't work.
Well, this is the house, all right.
Oh, hello, George. When did you get here?
Well, I give up.
Hello, everybody.
Gracie, do you know that you're not all there?
I know. I just had my tonsils removed.
Tonsils removed? That annoys me. That's all I've got.
Say, Gracie, what's the matter with your granddaddy?
Oh, he doesn't take care of himself. He inhales cigars.
Well, what's wrong with him?
Well, most people just inhale the smoke.
Look, Gracie, you'll have to excuse me if I run away just before the broadcast is over. You see, I've got a date with a little redhead, and she won't wait.
Well.
A redhead? Say, Poopsie, how do you get all these gals?
Well, why shouldn't he? George is a good dancer. He's a swell dresser. He's romantic. Spends lots of money. Continued on next page.
Artie, don't read that part.
Well, come on, everybody.
Say,
Right
Gracie,
through this long...
Gracie, what is this? You've got barbed wire on the banisters?
Well, you know my granddaddy likes to slide down the banisters.
Oh, I see, and that stops him.
No, it doesn't stop him, but it slows him down a bit.
I think I know what you mean.
It is. It isn't. It is. It isn't.
It is.
No, it isn't.
Who are they?
Oh, they've been living here for over a year.
Well, who are they?
I don't know.
Gracie, you know, this house is filled with imbeciles.
Well, I better tell Granddaddy you're all here.
Well, never mind that. We better start the broadcast.
What's tonight's program about, George?
It's about Thanksgiving.
What's that?
What's that? Look, Gracie, as far back as you can remember, what always happened in November?
Roosevelt was elected.
Well, I'll try to explain it to you.
All right.
You see, in 1620, the first Americans arrived in a new land to make a fresh start.
Uh-huh.
They decided to build homes. And do you know one of the first things they did?
They applied for FHA loans.
FHA loans didn't come until 300 years later.
Well, you've got to go through a lot of red tape before you get the money.
Anyway, these people were called Puritans.
What's that?
What's that? Did you ever read of those people who suffered and were punished in stocks?
Oh, in 1929, some of my best friends were Puritans.
Well, anyway, these people were so grateful for finding a freedom in a new country that they killed a turkey and called it Thanksgiving.
Oh, what a cute name for a turkey.
And the custom still remains. Even today, we chop the heads off turkeys.
How can you knock off all their heads at once?
A turkey only has one head.
Then where do all the necks come from? Last year, my sister got a neck, my brother got a neck, my uncle got a neck.
Oh, well, this is the end.
That's the part my daddy got.
Look, Smoothies, Bab, Charlie, and Little, will you sing a song while I try to explain to Gracie what Thanksgiving is? Please.
In a dinky honky-tonky village in Texas, there's a guy who plays the best piano by far. He can play piano anywhere that you like it, but the style he likes the best is eight to the bar. When he plays disco ball, he's the daddy of them all. The people gather around when he gets on stand, and when he plays, he gets a hand. The rhythm he beats puts the cats in a trance. Nobody's there, found if you dance, but when he jams with the bass and guitar, they holler, beat me daddy, get to the bar. Clink, clank, clink, clank, clink, clank, rocking on the keys. Riff, 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 rip it out with ease. But when he jams with the bass and guitar, they holler, beat me, daddy, get to the bar, just beat me. Please beat me. Oh, beat me. Just listen to the beat they're playing, eight to the bar. The looky bug is gonna get you the hunky style rollout. Said you piano man, now beat it, daddy, eight to the bar. Oh, rockin' in rhythm, well, alright.
Boogie style and I'm swinging on a gate.
Well, all right.
I got the solid rhythm in me and I got to syncopate.
Well, all right. Now that everybody's happy, there's nothing left to do. So, Mr. Piano Man, we're gonna leave it to you. Well, all right. Beat me, daddy, daddy, beat me. Eight to the bar.
Gracie, I've never seen a house like this. People walking around and nobody knowing them. And this furniture. What kind of furniture is this?
Well, it comes from the Hollywood Furniture Company.
Yeah, but what about the period?
Oh, pardon me. It comes from the Hollywood Furniture Company, period.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, say, Gracie, where's your kitchen? I want to get a Spam wing.
Oh, Bud, we haven't got any Spam in the Frigidaire.
No Spam in the Frigidaire?
Not in the Frigidaire. Spam doesn't need any refrigeration.
Oh, shucks. I forgot. I'll hate myself in the morning.
Oh!
What's that?
That's my granddaddy. He's sliding down the banister.
He's sliding down a barbed wire banister?
Well, he does it 20 times a day, and the doctor told him to stop.
Well, I imagine he would.
Sure. It's bad for his heart.
Well, I hope the kid makes a three-point landing.
It is. It isn't. It is. It isn't.
It is.
It isn't.
Gracie, these fellas have been living in your house for over a year and you don't know who they are?
That's right.
Well, why don't you ask them?
I don't talk to strangers.
Well, this is some house.
George, I better go and find Granddaddy and give him his medicine. You see, he hasn't got a nurse anymore.
Oh, he had a nurse, huh?
Yes. And the only way he'd take his medicine was when the nurse would kiss him after every teaspoonful. It was awful stuff.
Bitter, huh?
No, he hasn't any teeth.
Well, let's get this over with. All right, let's find your granddaddy and give him this medicine. Boy, what a house. I've never seen. Hey, Soundman, 4 years in Harvard. Why are you sitting out in the hall all by yourself, sulking?
A big Harvard-Yale game this year, and I won't be there.
Well, why don't you go?
Not after the sad experience I had last year. There I was at the stadium. It was the last quarter. The score was 0-0. Just as Yale was making a touchdown, Somebody stuck a gun in my back and held me up.
Well, there were millions of people there. Why didn't you yell?
What? And have them think I was rooting for Yale?
Well, come on, Gracie.
Hey, George. When you meet this little red-headed girl tonight, why don't you take her to the Follies Bergère? It's a swell show.
Those girly shows are all the same, Artie. Take away their feathers and their little umbrellas, and what have you got?
High blood pressure.
Oh, quiet.
Well, here's Granddaddy's room.
Well, look, Gracie, before we all go in, what's the matter with your Granddaddy?
Well, we really don't know. In the middle of the night, we heard strange noises, and we ran into Granddaddy's room, and there he was shaking all over.
He was shaking all over?
Yes.
Well, what did you do?
What did we do? We sent for a doctor.
Well, what did the doctor do?
Well, he took the Madame Lazanga record off the control, and we all went back to sleep again.
Kid has probably got rheumatism.
Hiya, Grace.
Hiya, Grandpa.
Well, what's the matter, Grandpa? Don't you feel well?
No, Georgie boy. Say, hand me that picture of Hetty Lamar on a sleeping tablet.
Well, I can't find Hetty Lamar's picture. Do you want this one of Van Sheridan?
No, I'm saving her until I feel better. Yahoo!
Well, wait, Grandpa. I'll look in this closet.
It is. It isn't.
It is.
It isn't.
I can't say. Gracie, can't somebody else in your family give him the medicine? I've got a date with that little redhead.
Well, my mother's at her sewing club, and my daddy went downtown to vote, and my
Your
brother...
daddy went downtown to vote?
Yes, and my brother...
The election was over 2 weeks ago.
I know, but my daddy's a Republican, and he never gives up.
Try to understand this. I've got a date with a girl.
Senor Burns,
I can't stand this.
Senor Burns, look out. Don't get excited. You'll break a blood weasel.
Now, don't worry about me. And besides, you said that wrong.
Oh, perdóname. Don't get excited. You'll break a blood weasel.
Well, that's much better.
Hey, Buddy boy.
What is it, Granddaddy?
Buddy boy, would you mind reaching in that coat pocket and getting me a cigar?
Oh, what coat, Grandpa?
The one George is wearing.
There aren't any cigars in my pocket.
You mean you didn't get anything with that suit?
That was a pretty good one, Corny.
Oh, quiet. Even if I did have a cigar, if I did get a cigar with it, why should I give it to you? You're the tightest old man I ever met. You never gave anybody anything.
Oh, Judge, you shouldn't say that to my granddaddy when he's so sick. He gave you something.
When did he ever give me something?
Tonight.
What did he give me?
The measles.
The measles?
Now, Artie Shaw, his clarinet, and his boys will give us Sugar.
I know that, Gracie. But if your granddaddy had the measles, he shouldn't have kept it a secret.
He didn't. He's been spreading it all around.
Why do they ever go into this crazy house? Gracie, what's that?
She's practicing up in the attic.
Who's practicing?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother? Gracie, will you tell your grandmother to stop? We can't continue talking if she's going to make all that noise upstairs. But this is the craziest house. Listen to that. Beat, 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 beat.
Meat, eat, meat. I say there, lady, when a-shopping you go, here's some news that you should know. Help me out, George. I've gone this far.
I'll beat it out, bud. A2 at the bar. Spam is the meat that you should buy. Spam is different, and here is why.
We use pork shoulder to make Spam sweet, and the ham it takes for extra good meat.
The extra good flavor that you get in Spam got there, folks, 'cause we added ham.
Hormel started this new kind of meat, seasoned it better, made it grand to eat.
I say, Senor Burns, serve Spam for lunch. This delicious meat is good to crunch.
Look, Senor Lee, it's crunch, not crunch.
Crunch, crunch.
Crunch, crunch.
You buy it all the time if you try it once.
To get the real thing to put on your table, look for this sentence on the Spam can label.
Pork shoulder meat with ham meat added. Proof that Spam is really different. My, that doesn't fit.
Yeah, that's right, Gracie. That's the worst one yet.
Nothing is just like Spam, my friend.
And so with this, our poem ends. When a-shopping you'd go, tomorrow, ma'am, ask for S-P-A-M Spam.
Slice it, dice it, fry it, bake it, cold or hot. Spam hits the spot.
Look, George, if there's a possibility of your having the measles, I wouldn't keep that date with that redhead.
Well, don't worry about me, Artie. I'm going out right now and get myself inoculated.
Well, why do it tonight? Why don't you wait until New Year's Eve?
Look, Gracie, inoculation prevents sickness. You see, millions of germs can live on the head of a pin.
How can they eat that stuff?
They use a knife and fork.
Oh!
Well, I'm going to get out of this house before it's too late.
Hold on there, mister. Where do you think you're going?
I'm going out, officer. Why?
Oh, no, you're not. Nobody leaves this house. It's quarantined.
But I'm George Burns. I haven't got anything.
I've heard you on the air, brother, and you ain't kidding.
Let me tell you
Get
something.
back in there.
Well, this is a fine thing. And I've got myself...
Oh, look who's here. Hello, George. Are you back from your date already? Did you meet that girl? Did you kiss her?
Gracie, I was stopped by a cop.
Oh, that's what always happens in those parked cars.
I knew you'd understand me.
Once I was in a parked car with the freshest fella, and you know what he said to me?
Will you be reasonable?
That's what he said to me.
Oh, stop.
That's what I said to him.
Gracie, I didn't even get out of the door. There's a cop outside. He says your house is quarantined.
He's crazy. It's Ducko.
Well, never mind. I'll see you later. I've got to keep this date. Wonder where this door leads to. Oh, wrong door. Isn't that silly? The broom closet.
Oh, look who's here. Hello, George. When did you get back? Did you have a nice time with the redhead?
Gracie, I was in the broom closet.
Oh, her husband came home, huh?
Look, I'm trying to get out of this house of yours.
Well, I've got an idea. Let's do what they do in the movies. Now, I'll tie this bed sheet around you and let you out of the window.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. Here, put it on me right
Oh, then I'll tie this end of the bed. All right. All ready, George. Climb out of the window.
Well, here I go. Ouch! Gracie! Gracie!
What?
What part of the bed did you tie it to?
The pillow!
The pillow?
Hey, you Burns, I told you the place was quarantined. Now get back in that house.
Well, look who's there. Hello, George. Are you back from the date already? Did you have a nice time with the redhead?
See, I almost killed myself. I just went through that window.
Oh, her husband came home again, huh?
You know, you could use another ounce of brain.
Not me. I'm overweight now.
matter where I go, that cop is there. I wish he'd stick to his beat.
Stick to his what?
Beat.
Meat. Spam is the meat
that you should eat. Spam is, I know that. You should try. I know that, but we've done it before. This poetry is going from bad to verse. Oh. It's just a little slip. Look at me. I'm filthy. How can I get washed up?
Just keep on telling those jokes, brother.
Gracie, where's the washroom?
Right down the hall. You can't miss it. It's the one with the gasoline pump in front of it.
Gasoline pump?
Sure. My grandmother's a tourist, and we like to make her feel at home.
Well, I'll go in there and get cleaned up. It is.
It isn't.
It is.
It isn't. It is.
Wait a minute. All you guys have been doing is arguing. What are you arguing about?
I claim this Thursday is the real Thanksgiving, and Joe says it isn't.
Well, it is.
It is.
It is.
Stay still. Gracie, I've got to get out of here.
Well, George, why don't you go up on the roof and slide down the drain pipe, and then when you get to the yard...
The drain pipe?
Yeah, when you get to the yard...
The drain pipe?
Oh, pardon me. I was Senor last night.
Oh. Keep on going out with him and you won't be able to speak English.
Senor Burns, when you say that, smile.
Smile?
Yes. S-M-E-L-L. Smile.
That smell.
You're perfect?
Oh, please, everything happens to me. Here I've got a date with a girl, I'm all messed up. I scrape my nose. Huh, what a pickle.
Looks more like a banana.
Oh, yeah? Well, my face happens to be all right. Doesn't bother me.
Maybe that's on account of your standing behind it?
Yeah, maybe. Well, I just got to get out of here.
Mr. Burns.
What does it sound, man?
Just look at this goldfish bowl. It's a rhapsody in glass. It's made of pure quartz silicate.
Time like this, he's got to impress me with his education. There must be some way out.
Say, Soundman, what happened to the goldfish that were in that bowl? Answer me, what did you do with those goldfish?
Forgive me, Miss Ellen, I couldn't help it. Once a Harvard man, always a Harvard man.
Well, there must be some way out of here.
Soundman, I don't mind your eating the goldfish, but Tom Harmon is going to get pretty angry.
Why, Tom Harmon is that great Michigan football player.
Well, it's also the name of our cat.
You call your cat Tom Harmon?
Well, yeah, that's on account of every time he gets loose, he makes 10 yards.
Hey, wait a minute. Why didn't I think of this before? Gracie, where's the chimney?
Right there.
Well, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. I'm going up the chimney. A guy will go through for a woman. Well, here it is. I'm out. There's the blue sky.
Blue sky nothing. That's my uniform, you see. Get back in there.
Oh!
Look who's here. Hello, George. You back in the
Quiet!
Will some one person in every family listening tonight do us just one more small favor? All we want to ask is that you remind Mother to get a can of Spam when she goes shopping tomorrow. You'll be doing a bigger favor for yourself because Spam is absolutely the most popular new meat item in a generation. Once you taste Spam's tempting flavor, its tender, meaty goodness, you'll want to serve Spam often. Spam is so easy to prepare. Try it tomorrow. Use the simple recipes on the label. Ask your food dealer for S-P-A-M, Spam. Join the thousands who say, whenever the occasion calls for delicious meat at our house, we serve Spam.
Well, Bud, I'm certainly in a fine mess.
Oh, George, I just found out my granddaddy hasn't got the measles.
Well, good. Now I can go and meet my little redhead.
Oh, yeah, then you can say hello to my granddaddy because he went there, too.
Good night, all.
Join us again next week, same time, same station, for another Burns and Allen show with Artie Shaw and his orchestra and the Smoothies. Until then, this is Bud Easton reminding you to remember that cold or hot, Spam hits the spot. Have you tried Hormel chili con carne? Even those who think they don't like chili do like chili con carne the way Hormel makes it because it's different and everybody likes it. Double your money back if you don't like it. Try Hormel chili con carne tomorrow. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
It's the Aldrich Family on NBC.
Coming, Mother?
Yes, it's the Aldrich Family is transcribed, written by Clifford Goldsmith. "117 Elm Street in Centerville is a house like many other houses, and it might be a very solemn and staid place if there weren't a boy in it. And when that boy is a typical teenager like Henry Aldrich, well, it's a place where unexpected things are always happening. The scene opens in one of Centerville's grocery stores. The time is afternoon.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Mother. This is Henry.
Who?
Henry Aldrich, your son.
Oh, is everything all right, dear? Are you all through at the store?
Practically. I just wanted to tell you, though, they're all out of mincemeat, and I've been to 2 other stores.
What's that? They don't have any mincemeat at all?
No. Mr. Preston said people shouldn't let their shopping go till the day before Thanksgiving. He said that...
Dear, I don't care what he said. It's going to be a blow to your father. But I guess he'll have to be satisfied with pumpkin pie.
I know, but they don't have any pumpkins either.
Don't they have any canned pumpkin?
Oh, canned pumpkin?
And, Henry, have you picked up the turkey?
No, not yet. I haven't been over to that side of the store.
Well, dear, you go over there just as soon as you hang up and tell Mr. McGill you want the turkey I ordered 3 weeks ago.
Yes, Mother. Only how about Sage?
What about it?
Hey, Henry. What do you want, Homer?
When you get through with that phone, I want it.
What's that, Henry?
Mother, I said, what shall I do about Sage? They're all out of it.
Henry, they can't be.
Mr. Preston said it's account of the late shopping.
Well, dear, you ask Mr. Preston whether he can't fix up Mrs. Aldrich with just a little sage for her Thanksgiving dinner. I'm sure he has some put away somewhere.
Listen, Henry, when can I use that phone?
Gee whiz, Homer, can't you see I'm talking to my mother?
What's that, Henry?
Nothing, Mother. I'm just talking to Homer.
Henry, you aren't fooling around down there with Homer, are you?
What's that?
It sounds to me like you haven't done any of the shopping I sent you to do.
Well, I'm doing the best I can, Mother. Gee whiz, all I've got is 2 pair of hands.
Listen, Henry, I've got to use that phone.
Well, please hurry, dear, and don't waste any time with Homer.
But, Mother.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Boy, Henry, it's about time.
Whiz, Homer, you have to push a guy right out of the booth?
Don't speak to me. Don't say a word. Trying to remember 5 different things to tell my mother.
I got to get some sage.
Number, please.
Squash, chestnut, cinnamon.
Number, please.
Cinnamon. Operator, just make it plain 232 without the cinnamon.
May I have your number, please?
I told you, 232, Elm.
Elm, 232.
Gee whiz, now I've forgotten our whole Thanksgiving dinner. Squash, chestnuts, cinnamon. Oh, boy. Squash, chestnuts, cinnamon.
Hello?
Yeah, listen, Mother, what came after cinnamon?
What's that? Who did you want?
Isn't this my mother?
Well, yes, Homer, it is. Have you got everything for our dinner?
Well, the only thing in your list that they've got is breadcrumbs and cleaning powder.
Well, did you get them?
Well, yes, but it isn't much of a Thanksgiving dinner.
What's that?
Oh, boy, cranberries.
What?
I just happen to remember cranberries. That's what came after cinnamon.
Well, what about them?
I can't get any.
Oh, now, Homer, they must have at least a few cranberries.
No, they haven't. Henry Aldrich got the last half pound.
What's that? Oh, Homer, you aren't wasting your afternoon with Henry Aldrich, are you?
No. Only gee whiz, he bought the last cranberries.
Well, dear, I don't see how we can have turkey without cranberries.
Well, you don't have to worry, Mother. I've got something even better.
Oh, that's good. What'd you get?
Ketchup.
Ketchup? Did you go with turkey?
Oh, well, I like it on anything. And so does Father.
I know, dear.
And it's red. If you pour it on corn kernels, it looks just like cranberries.
Oh, Homer, did you tell Mr. McGill you want our turkey?
Well, that's another thing. There's only one.
Well, one is all we want.
No, I mean one turkey for everybody. And Mr. McGill isn't sure, but he's pretty sure Mrs. Aldrich reserved that.
Now, dear, Mrs. Aldrich didn't reserve that turkey any more than I did. I asked Mr. McGill to put it aside for me weeks ago.
You did?
Yes, now run right over and tell him.
Hey, Homer, I gotta use that phone again.
Just a minute, Henry.
Homer, is Henry Aldrich there?
Well, yes, Mother.
Well, he hasn't got hold of that turkey, has he?
Just a minute. Henry, what's in that big bag there?
Squash. Now, hurry up, Homer.
Mother, it's all right. It's squash.
Oh, Homer, did you get any squash?
Well, that's what I was going to tell you. They don't have the kind you wanted. Look, shall I get the kind Henry got?
Dear, get any kind, just so long as your father has a good squash when he sits down with his turkey.
Okay. Homer, will you let me have that phone?
Okay, here.
Well, thanks. Hello?
Hello?
Listen, Homer, why are you handing me your mother?
Well, hang her up.
What?
Goodbye, Mother.
Boy, will I be glad when Thanksgiving is over.
Homer, will you please get your oranges and flour and stuff out of this booth?
I'm getting them out, Henry. Listen, where did you get that squash?
There aren't any more.
There aren't? Henry, I'm getting sick of you taking the last everything in this place.
Homer, you gotta keep your eyes open around here.
Number, please.
Elm 303.
Elm 303.
Just a minute there, Aldrich.
What's that?
What do you got there in your hand?
A can of pumpkin. It was the last one on the counter.
I'll say it was. I've been looking all over for it.
For this?
That's part of Mrs. Bartlett's order. Now give it to me.
Oh, gee whiz.
Hello?
Hello, Mother. What do you think just happened?
Dear, what is it you want now?
Well, I was going to ask whether one can of pumpkin would be enough.
Oh, I guess I could make a pie with one can.
But, Mother, they just took it away from me.
What?
The man said Mrs. Bartlett saw it first.
Dear, do you realize tomorrow is Thanksgiving? It sounds to me as though you aren't even trying.
Mother, you'll be glad to hear I got a lot of parsley.
Parsley?
There doesn't seem to be much of a demand for that. I took 6 pounds.
Henry, do you have our turkey?
Oh, yeah, gee whiz.
You say you haven't?
No. I'm glad you reminded me.
Well, you hurry right over to Mr. McGill and ask him for it.
Yes, Mother, I'll go right away.
Goodbye.
Hey, buddy.
Yes, sir? Did you want me?
When you took that can of pumpkin, did you pick up a can of cinnamon, too?
Cinnamon? No, sir, I haven't even seen any cinnamon.
Well, somebody took a can of cinnamon right out of Mrs. Bartlett's order.
Hey, Homer.
What, Henry?
Is Mr. McGill here at the meat counter?
Yeah, he's in the back room wrapping... he's wrapping something up for me.
Okay, I'll wait for him.
Well, he may be in there for quite a while, Henry. Why waste time? Why don't you go over to the other side of the store and do some more shopping?
I finally got all mine done, except for one thing.
You sure? Why don't you go over and get some cinnamon?
They don't have any.
Well, sure they have. I just got a can.
All I have to buy is something right here from Mr. McGill.
Oh, you do?
Sure. Hey, Homer, before I forget, have you got your composition written for English?
Oh, gee whiz, we don't have to have it ready until Monday.
Well, I know, but I'm going to do mine tonight. Then I'll have a free mind for the whole weekend. Gee whiz, what's keeping Mr. McGill? I'm going to go back there and look for him.
Now, wait a minute, Henry, wait.
What for?
Well, the composition is supposed to be about, what you did on Thanksgiving Day.
I know.
Well, how are you going to write about what you did on Thanksgiving Day on the day before it?
All I'm going to do, Homer, is eat. I'm going to eat turkey at noon, and then in the evening I'm going to have cold turkey, and just before I go to bed I'm going to have some more turkey.
Oh, well, that's nice. Sounds like an interesting composition.
Now then, Homer, here you are. A very nice 18-count...
Thank you, Mr. McGill. Thank you very much.
It's the last one...
So long, Henry.
Homer, you haven't told me what you're going to do on Thanksgiving Day. Homer? Gee whiz, is he in a hurry?
Now then, young man, what can I do for you?
Didn't you explain to Mr. McGill that he promised me a turkey?
Well, sure, Mother, and he said that he could definitely promise you one.
When?
The day after tomorrow.
Henry, I need a turkey for Thanksgiving, not the day after. When Homer took that turkey, did you tell him he was really taking our Thanksgiving dinner?
Mother, I didn't have a chance to. He just grabbed it from right under my nose and ran.
And Mr. McGill said Homer told him we didn't want the turkey?
Well, Mr. McGill said Homer didn't actually say it. He just implied that we didn't.
Very well, Henry, here's what I want you to do. You're to go over to the Browns and tell Homer's mother exactly what happened.
And demand the turkey?
You don't have to demand it, dear. If you just explain things, I'm sure Mrs. Brown will be only too glad to give it to you.
She will?
Yes, dear. Now start right away.
Yes, Mother.
And hurry right back with it.
Yes, Mother.
Alice?
Yes, Sam?
Where did you just send Henry?
Over to the Browns, dear, to get that turkey.
Now, wait a minute, Alice.
Dear, I'm sorry. It isn't theirs, it's ours. And we have guests coming.
But, Alice, the Browns are old friends of ours. You can't do a thing like that to them. Not at Thanksgiving.
And besides, in all fairness, they have an equal right to that turkey. Now, the sensible thing to do is...
Whom are you calling?
Number, please.
Elm 391.
Elm 391.
Sam, you aren't inviting anyone else for dinner, are you?
No, Alice, I'm calling the market.
Dear, believe me, they don't have any more turkeys down there.
Very well. We'll get something else.
Old Hill Market, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's Mr. Aldrich.
Oh, yes, sir.
I'd like to place an order with you.
All right, Mr. Aldrich.
Now then, I'd like a couple of real nice roasters.
What's that?
Roasting chickens, say 5 or 6 pounds each.
But, Mr. Aldrich, where am I going to get them?
What's that?
There isn't a chicken left in the place.
Oh. Well, then you'd better make it a couple of good-sized ducks. Personally, I like duck just as well as turkey.
No ducks, Mr. Aldrich.
No ducks. Now, wait a minute. You must have something. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving.
I know, Mr. Aldrich, but it seems like everybody waited till the last minute to do their shopping. My wife and I are having salmon.
We're having company for dinner.
I'll tell you what I can do, Mr. Aldrich. How would you like me to cut up a nice oxtail for you?
Oxtail? What for?
For Thanksgiving. It isn't the same as chicken, but it makes a dandy stew and very nourishing.
Yeah, well, just skip the whole thing.
Now, will there be anything else, Mr. Aldrich?
No, thank you. I guess you've got everything. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Alice.
Which did you get, Sam, chickens or ducks?
I've been thinking it over, Alice, and it seems to me you have a perfect right to demand that turkey from the Browns.
And, dear, that's exactly what I told Henry to do.
Good. But when Henry comes back with it, the thing to do is to call the Browns and insist that they come over here and have Thanksgiving with us.
But, Sam, that turkey isn't large enough for all of their guests and our guests, too.
Oh. Well, that's too bad. I hate to see the Browns go without... Yeah, I'll answer.
Well, of course, if we serve plenty of muffins and yams, we might be able to stretch it.
Hello?
Is this you, Father?
Yes, Henry, where are you?
I'm downtown.
Well, hurry on home. Don't dawdle with that turkey.
Father, I'm dawdling without the turkey.
What?
They wouldn't give it to me. Mr. Brown said they bought and paid for the turkey, and that's all there was to it.
Oh, he did.
Father, isn't there any other place to get a turkey?
I'm not interested in any other turkey. We're going to have that one the Browns have, and we're going to eat it tomorrow. Alone. They're not invited.
You want me to go back and tell them?
No, I'll take care of it.
Father, I'm going to go back to see Homer anyhow.
Never mind that, Henry. You come right home.
Father.
Henry?
Yes, sir. I'll be right there.
Alice.
Yes, Sam. What's the matter?
I have tried to be patient. I have tried to be considerate. Now I am going to do something.
What?
Here, Alice, take this phone. I want you to call the Browns and demand our turkey.
Is that what she said, Elizabeth?
Yes, Will. Why, in all the years I've known Alice Aldrich, I've never heard her talk that way to anyone.
All right. All right. If they want to make an issue of the turkey, it's all right with me.
Mother, I'll be back in a little while.
Homer, where are you going?
Just over to Henry's. It isn't so late, Mother.
Homer, let's get this straight. You're not to have anything to do with Henry Aldrich.
Not ever?
Not until we've eaten that turkey. And if he wants to speak to you, that's his loss.
Yeah, but look, I've got to write a composition, and I need a little advice about Thanksgiving.
Well, you won't get it over there. I don't think the Aldriches are celebrating Thanksgiving this year.
Well, can't one of you answer that phone?
Now, Elizabeth, don't touch it. It's probably Sam Aldrich calling to pick a fight with me about that turkey.
Well, now, Will, the least you can do is talk to him. Even if he loses his temper, you don't have to lose yours.
Elizabeth, I'm just going to sit here absolutely calm.
Father, would you be willing to help me with my composition?
What's your problem?
Well, I have to compare what the Pilgrims did on their first Thanksgiving with what I did tomorrow.
Well, for one thing, you can point at what you did tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
What did you do tomorrow?
What's that?
Homer, what are we talking about?
Well, I think you should at least go to the phone and tell Sam you're not going to give him that turkey.
He'll find out soon enough, Elizabeth. He'll find out. He's found out already.
Well...
What's that?
It's the front door. And I'm not going to sit here and just hear bells ringing.
I'll go to the door. I'm willing to do that.
Let me know who it is.
The same here, Father.
Hello there, Will.
Well, Sam Aldrich. Aren't you, that is, won't you come in?
No, thanks, Will.
Mr. Brown, is Homer here?
Now, Henry, you stay right here on the steps where you are. Don't bother the Browns.
Oh, Henry's no bother. Is there something I can do for you, Sam?
Will, I don't know what this is all about, but I take it that Alice lost her temper when she phoned your wife a few minutes ago. Just between ourselves, Will, women have a tendency to exaggerate the importance of things.
You're right, Sam.
I tried to reason with Elizabeth. I'm afraid she went a little overboard herself.
When you get right down to it, there isn't any turkey in the world worth sacrificing our friendship over.
No, of course not.
And Alice will be the first to admit the same thing.
That's just the way Elizabeth feels.
So, I just wanted to tell you to enjoy the turkey and have a fine Thanksgiving.
Now, wait a second, Sam. The fact is, I was just going to start for your house with that turkey.
No, Will, no. Just forget the whole thing.
No, Sam, I mean it. Wait right there.
Gee whiz, Father, is Mr. Brown really going to give us the turkey?
Henry, if he brings the turkey out here, we're not going to take it.
Why not?
Don't you think I have any pride? I never got down on my knees for a turkey before.
Hey, here you are, Sam. It's all wrapped and everything.
Oh, no, Will. No, Will.
Where are you going with that turkey?
Be quiet, Elizabeth. Here, Sam.
Oh, no. I wouldn't think of it. You keep it and have a nice dinner tomorrow.
Now, Sam, there's no use in your going down those steps without this. Here, Henry, you take it.
Shall I, Father?
No, Henry. Come along.
Sam!
There's no use following us, Will. It's your turkey.
No, Sam, it's yours. I'm putting it right here on the front walk.
All right, Will. If you want to leave it there, it's all right with me.
There it is on the sidewalk, Sam. I'm going back in the house.
And Henry and I are going down the street.
Father, hey, Father.
What's the matter?
Look at those 3 dogs coming.
What's that?
Hey, get away from there. Stop.
Just look. One of them took it.
What's that? He took it.
Come back here.
Well, Will, that was certainly a foolish thing for you to do.
What do you mean, for me to do? What did you leave it there for?
I left it. You put it down there yourself.
Well, why didn't you pick it up?
Why should I? It's your turkey, Will. If you want it, you go get it. Come on, Henry. We've got other things to do.
Yeah, but gee whiz, Father.
Well, of all...
What's the matter, Father?
Come on, Homer. We've got to chase a dog.
A dog, Father? For Thanksgiving?
We'll return to the Aldrich family in just a moment. Now, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it's one sure bet that tonight's Phil Harris Alice Faye show will deliver a full half hour's worth of family comedy. And right after the Harris Faye show on most of these NBC stations, Theater Guild on the Air will bring you Basil Rathbone, Alan Webb, and Margaret Phillips in the radio version of the Broadway hit, The Winslow Boy. And then there's adventure with a pair of NBC programs as Jack Webb stars in this week's Dragnet story from the files of the Los Angeles Police Force, while William Gargan will be on hand in the title role of Barry Craig, confidential investigator. So stay tuned to this NBC station and listen for the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, Theater Guild on the Air, Dragnet, and Barry Craig, confidential investigator. Now getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. The Browns had somehow got a turkey from the meat market that had been reserved for Mrs. Aldrich. And then while Mr. Aldrich and Mr. Brown were each trying to outdo the other with politeness over the bird, a stray dog ran off with it. The scene opens in the basement of the Elm Street Church. The time is that same evening.
Step right in, folks. Step right in. The auction's going to begin shortly.
Hello there, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, hello, Mr. Aldrich. Hi, Henry.
Hello. Has the bidding started yet?
No, we'll be starting pretty soon.
Pretty nice turkey?
Nicest bird you ever saw. 25-pounder.
Come on, Henry.
Step right in, folks. The auction will begin shortly.
Gee, Father, I just happened to remember something. You know that darn dog that stole our turkey?
Mr. Brown's turkey.
Yes, sir. Well, I think his name is Dodo, and he belongs to that family that lives down on the corner of Main and Elm.
Where?
You know, where the fence is broken down.
Oh, yeah. That's the family Will Brown's always complaining about.
They got about 15 children.
Yeah, and 2 dogs for every child.
Pardon me, Mr. Aldrich. I want to get right up here in front.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Dry.
Well, now, folks. Folks, we're auctioning off just one turkey tonight, but it sure is a beauty. They say it's a direct descendant of the first turkey the Pilgrims ate.
Oh, hey. Hello there, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, hello, Will Brown. Hi, Homer.
Hi. We aren't late, are we? You haven't sold a turkey yet, have you?
No, sir, but we're going to start right away.
Come on, Homer. Let's get over here to one side.
Boy, am I tired.
Does this tear in my pants show?
What tear?
When that dog tripped me.
Well, it doesn't show too much if you don't bend down.
Homer, why couldn't you have remembered this auction before I tried to climb that fence?
she is. It's all for charity, a worthy cause. Bid freely and generously. You may be sure good use will be made of the money. Now, what am I offered for this beautiful turkey?
$15.
15 on bid. That's an insult to this beautiful bird. I wouldn't be surprised to see her get up and walk off in a huff. Who'll make it 18? 20 I have. Why, the drumsticks are worth that.
25.
Now it's 25. Now it's 25.
30.
Now it's 30. Now we're going. I have 30 bids.
Father, aren't you going to bid?
$30.50.
No, I'm sorry, Mr. Brown. I'm only taking dollar bids on this. It's all for charity.
All right, then. Make it 31.
31 what, Father? 31 what?
$30, I'm afraid.
31. 31 it is. Who'll make it 32?
32.
No, I heard you the first time, lady. 33 you made it, and thank you.
35.
35 on bid. 35.
Well, Homer, I guess that lets us out.
35 I have from Mr. Aldrich. Who'll make it 40?
Homer, did he say Aldrich?
Well, gee whiz.
Who'll make it 40?
45.
45 on bid. 45.
That'll show Sam Aldrich.
45 is
50.
55.
Gee whiz, Father.
Keep quiet, Homer.
55 on bid. 55. Who'll make it 60?
60.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. You raised your own bid. Thank you.
I did?
65.
67.
70 I have. 70 for charity. 70 once. 70 twice.
Father, suppose Mother hears about this.
70 twice. Do I hear more?
What did he say, Homer? I don't want to make another mistake.
Do I hear more?
Father, I'd like to...
Now listen, Homer, for the last time, be quiet.
Sold for $70 to Samuel Aldrich.
To who? That's a fine thing. And, Homer, it's all your fault.
Mine?
Well, how are you, Will?
How are you, Sam?
Now, Mr. Aldrich, if you'll step up here and pay your $70.
All right, I'll be happy to.
Bye, Homer. Bye, Henry.
Mr. Aldrich, I want you to know this turkey is going to be wrapped and sent to one of the most deserving families in town.
What's that?
And presented, of course, with the compliments of the whole Aldrich family.
Oh, boy.
Here, Dodo. Come here, Dodo. Nice doggy, Dodo.
Won't he give you the turkey, Papa? Dodo, give Papa the turkey.
Junior, keep away. Do you want to frighten him? Here, Dodo. Give me that turkey. That's a nasty turkey, Dodo. You won't like it.
Papa, where do you suppose he got it?
Natalie, will you stand back and all the rest of you keep back?
All right, stand back, everybody, and let Papa get the turkey.
Now, Dodo, for the last time, I want that turkey. We need that turkey. We haven't had a turkey dinner in this house in years.
Daddy, Dodo! Daddy, where's he got his turkey?
Hey, look at it. Look at it.
Where do you suppose Dodo found that turkey, Papa?
Well, I don't believe in looking a gift dog in the mouth. Besides, Dodo knows a lot of people in this town. Is that the front door?
Yes, Papa.
It is? Now, look, Junior, take this turkey and go into the kitchen with it.
All right. It's our turkey now.
Good evening, Mr. Foley. I've got a surprise for you.
What's that, Mr. Johnson?
Here you are. It's partly from the Elm Street Church and partly from Sam Aldrich.
Oh, what's this, a turkey?
A 25-pounder and all the trimmings to go with it.
Oh, Papa! Gee whiz, another turkey! Happy Thanksgiving! Happy Thanksgiving! Happy Thanksgiving!
Just a minute, Alice, and I'll turn the light out.
Don't forget to open the window before you get into bed.
Mother.
Yes, Henry, come in.
Mother, I hate to bother you, but could you look over this composition for spelling?
Not tonight, dear, but leave it here. I'll go over it in the morning.
All right, and thanks.
Good night, Henry.
Good night.
Good night, dear.
You know, Alice, I've been thinking it over.
You've been thinking what over, Sam?
I don't see any reason why we should ask the Browns over for dinner tomorrow.
To be quite frank, dear, I agree with you.
I'll admit we've been good friends, but after the way Will acted today...
And I didn't like Elizabeth's attitude.
So we might just as well...
Dear, how do you spell Pocahontas?
What's that?
Well, I guess Henry spelled it right.
Anyway, I don't see any point in having guests here for a dinner of cranberries and chestnuts.
But, dear, I told you we're also having corned beef hash.
Hash.
Of course, I know it isn't turkey, but... Sam, how do you spell Pocahontas?
Pocahontas?
There's no K in it, is there?
There may be in the original Indian spelling.
Sam, listen to this.
Listen to what?
What I Did on Thanksgiving by Henry W. Aldrich.
Thanksgiving's tomorrow.
Yes, dear, but stop interrupting. This year, the same as last year, we did the same old stuff that we did every other year. To begin with, our dinner consisted of turkey. Only he scratched that out and wrote chicken.
Yeah? Where does he think he's going to eat chicken?
Then he scratched that out and just left it blank.
Oh.
After we finished this hearty meal, we felt very stuffed and all sat around and talked about the price of things and the weather and business and stuff like that. Back in the old days, however, it was much more interesting. Then there wasn't much food for anybody, and the pilgrims had to shoot turkeys just like Indians. Pocahontas was one Indian, for example, but she was a good Indian. Mincemeat in those days they didn't have at that time, nor things like sage, because no more ships came in that year. When you once got some food, you had to hang on to it for dear life, because almost anybody might steal it, usually a wolf. There were no stores to buy things, so if a wolf took your turkey and stuff, you were out of luck.
Let me see that out. But it was because of all this that the Pilgrim Fathers, from whom we are all sprung, celebrated their first Thanksgiving and bowed their heads when they sat down over what was in many cases just plain cornmeal mush, which is something that even my mother has never gotten me to like as much as I admire the Pilgrims for the other things they did. But even cornmeal mush is all right, I guess, as long as they had neighbors to share it. Because, as my father says, when it comes to Thanksgiving, it's the spirit and not the stuffing that counts.
Father, Homer's on the phone. His folks say if we could bring over a few eggs, they have some cornmeal to make cornmeal muffins, and won't we come over for dinner tomorrow?
What do you mean, won't we come over? You tell them to pack up their cornmeal and come over here.
I can ask them.
Yes, dear, and tell Mrs. Brown if she has any cinnamon to please bring it. I'm going to make applesauce.
Fight communism by joining the Crusade for Freedom, the independent movement of the American people which supports Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia. These two networks are shattering the isolation which the Kremlin has imposed on its slave states. As a private enterprise, they can hit hard and expose the falseness of the communist line. They can spike the hate and lie campaign of the Soviets against the free world. So, help build more transmitters for Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia. Send your contribution to Crusade for Freedom, care of your local postmaster.
Not for another hour or so, dear.
Well, look, Mr. Foley's dog, Dodo, is out in the front yard.
Yes, Henry?
And Homer and I are going to take him and do a little hunting.
Hunting, dear?
Just around the neighborhood and see what we can dig up.
The Aldrich Family is transcribed as written by Clifford Goldsmith. Henry is played by Bobby Ellis and Homer by Jack Grimes. Mr. and Mrs. Aldrich are House Jameson and Catherine Roth. Your announcer is Dick Dudley. Listen again next week, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with the Aldrich Family.
Good night, everybody.
Now,